We should do an enchant Worldle to at least start things off. Nyx Weaver. Ooh, I like the look of this. 4 mana, rare. Oh, Distant Memories. 4 mana, rare. Day of Judgment. Oh, I know it's not a sorcery. That's on me. Probably an artifact, huh? Umbilicus. Portcullis. Oh, that's still 1990. Teferi's Puzzle Box. Doomsday. Or Armageddon Clock. Oh, right. The thing's like a bajillion mana. Wow, it's gonna be some absolute crap, isn't it? Rune Sword is 6. Alcor's what is it? Tomb? Alright. Oh, I knew it wasn't from Visions. I don't know. It's from Mirage? 4 mana artifact from Mirage? At rare? And it wasn't... 4 mana... 4 mana artifact from Mirage. 4 mana artifact from Mirage. How the fuck am I not getting this? This must be really bad, or it's just so obvious and I'm forgetting that it's from Mirage. 4 mana artifact from Mirage. Hornet Cannon is like Tempest or something. I think that's 3 mana. My brain's like fried from playing that game and not playing Magic. Or like not fried, but like I'm in a Magic mindset, not a other game mindset. Is Bull? I think Bullwhip? No, Bullwhip Stronghold. I think. Magnetic. Nope, that's Tempest. Grinning Totem. Oh! Alright, got it. I was trying to think of other, like, what are some old bordered, not great artifacts? This card, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody here has heard this multiple times. Get this open. But this card is, it was like $1 million. Watched all those streams side by side, tuning into each. Didn't even know you had a Twitch channel. We'll have to tune in more often. Well, thank you, Wizard with Words. I got a Twitch channel, but I also have a YouTube channel with a bunch of with VODs for everything, if you're interested. Including previous Lockdown Protocol VODs. Yeah, just including those. There were 4. Is Crystal Golem one of them? Crystal Golem is one of them. Amber Prison was another one I probably would have got. Because that one has very... It's kind of fucked up. It's very expensive, but kind of fucked up. Oh, I haven't thought about Razor Pendulum in a long time. That card stinks. Alright, let's try this. Crystal Golem isn't rare? Yeah, but how is anybody supposed to know that? Because it's from Mirage with only 1 printing. Instant. Infernal Grasp. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. You're so fucking welcome. Oh, how do I do hard mode? There we go. Huh? 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 mana. 8 mana. And is it a legendary creature? G-O-D. Elf? Nope, it's not a legendary creature. Artifact creature? When card name enters something. An artifact creature with a keyword. 1, 2, 7, 8. It's not cycling. Artifact creature. And it's not an elf. 3. Excuse me. I had to mute as I had a Diet Coca-Cola burpee. Didn't even need to tell you that, but here we are. Tapped. And attacking. Put this card from the grave. Nope. From the commander. What? No. Put this card from the into play. Something's, I think it's command zone, right? But it wouldn't be command zone. From the something zone into play, tapped and attacking. Is it ninjutsu? It could be ninjutsu. Whenever something, why would it be, but wait, what? It's not Commander Ninjutsu, but it's ninjutsu. Nezumi Prowler. Oh. Oh, battlefield. Put this card onto the battlefield from your hand. Tapped and attacking. Ah, okay. Yeah. Nezumi Prowler. Pretty easy. Pretty easy set of things to talk about. Okay, let me get the stuff in front of me. We're going to be talking about Aetherdrift previews here. If you're tuning in, you're wondering why was it not already set up? It's because I was playing Lockdown Protocol with some streamers, believe it or not. Some streamers. And now I'm not. Now I'm going to be talking about cards. We have talked about some number of cards here from the main set. I will end up talking about the cards from the Commander product as well as the special guests. But right now, I just want to talk about... we'll talk about cards of the main set first, and then going back to the other stuff. But I'll do it in Wooburg order for the main set, and then I'll go Wooburg for special guests, and then Wooburg for the Commander product. We'll do the Commander product last. This way it's easier to parse, like, this stuff is legal in Gladiator, And this stuff is not legal in Gladiator, for those interested. These set reviews are typically about Canadian Highlander, Gladiator, occasionally Cube, and occasionally Commander. Yeah, the first part of this is up on the YouTube channel, and I guess this is the second part. Great. Very weird to do this mid-stream. Like, I've already been live for like 2 hours, so it's kind of throwing me off. Okay, I already talked about all of these. I'm not going to be talking about every single card, so who knows? Maybe some of these cards are also not brand new. They may be older. This card's kind of funny. I don't think it's good, but Cloud Spire Captain 2 and a white for 2/3 human pilot. Mounts and vehicles you control get +1/+1. This creature saddles, mounts, and crews vehicles as though its power were 2 or greater. It's funny for 2 reasons. One, that it's just like a lord for your mounts and vehicles, which is kind of cool. I guess it's a reasonable thing to have. Probably, going to be a popular thing in all the commander decks built around Winguses and Dinguses. It is a little funny that we have seen Wizards take they have decided to make certain decisions to trim the number of words on cards. And because of that, it's very funny to me that now mounts and vehicles are getting paired as like, yeah, cards, at least in this set, are not going to reference one or the other. They tend to reference both, which is kind of funny. It's like, we're looking to trim down the number of words on cards, and then now you have to say that they saddle mounts and crew vehicles, and mounts and vehicles. Do we know if the pilots are getting errata? Probably not. Probably just different pilots, different things. I think that's okay. You can have both if you want, but I also think it's totally reasonable to have cards that only crew mounts and cards that only crew vehicles. In fact, I'd prefer it that way. It makes sense for this set, I guess, but I don't know. It's just wanted to point that out. This card being a sorcery is not great. But it is kind of flexible. The Collision Course. I would rather just play Thraben Charm. But 2 mana sorcery deals X damage to target creature where X is the number of permanents you control that are creatures and or vehicles. And or destroy target artifact. Anytime you can have a card that says kill a thing or kill an artifact, that's kind of nice. But this one is, I don't know, this one, sorcery speed is just not great, you know? What is this? Oh, I found this card to be very funny when I saw it. Detention Chariot. 4 white for a 6/6 artifact vehicle. When this vehicle enters, exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls until this vehicle leaves the battlefield. And then crew 3 and cycling for a white. Weird card. Weird card. The fact that it gets thrown into gay baby jail is kind of cool. And that the fact that it's a vehicle and you don't necessarily have to turn it into a creature can help protect what you have exiled. But it's also 6 mana. It's 6 mana. And like it's crew 3 and it's a little awkward. The cycling's kind of neat, but I don't know. This is a card I look and I'm like, okay, I'm sure this is fine and limited or whatever, but very, very weird card to look at and parse. We don't need to talk about this. I mean, this card's kind of interesting. Glory Heath Links. 1 and a white for a 2/3 cat mount with lifelink. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, search your library for a basic plains, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle, and then has saddle 2. I'm getting big hunting cheetah vibes. Even the artwork. I mean, there's only so many ways that you can draw a card, a bigger cat, running. But yeah, 2-mana 2/2 lifelinker is pretty annoying, and the fact that you can repeatedly draw cards with this on attack makes it a little appealing. The crew, the saddle too, is a little much. But yeah, I'm probably not playing it, but I wouldn't be too shocked if there was an opponent in Gladiator that played this across the table for me, you know. Unfortunately, it only finds basic planes, so you can't, it doesn't do a lot of mana fixing, doesn't set you up for getting like triomes or cycling lands or surveil lands or whatever. But yeah, interesting. I love hunting cheetah, by the way. I'm so glad I got a reprint. This card's so dope. 3-mana 2/3. Whenever it deals damage to an opponent, you tutor for any forest and put it in your hand. Pretty good. Pretty good. This card was like my OG, like back in the day playing Commander with green decks. And this was like, yeah, dude, this is how you draw cards. And then they printed like Rishkar's expertise and stuff. And you're like, oh, never mind. Okay. Okay, I guess. Okay, I guess. Nesting Bot. 1 white for a 1/1 artifact creature robot with Start Your Engines. And whenever this creature dies, you create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. And then at max speed, it gets +1/+0. This card is totally fine as just like a 1-mana 1/1 that when it dies, it replaces itself. It is likely not relevant for our formats, but there are some additional max speed cards that you would want to play in Aristocrats, and being able to get your speed early can be relevant, right? Like, it's more relevant if this guy hits the table, starts getting the speed up to 4, and then you draw the other max speed cards, because like, having the Gas Guzzler or the Black-White Legend getting your speed going, and then later on you draw this and you're like, oh, it's a 2-power card, yay. Not great. This is, I believe, the only 1-mana 1/1 for 1 that when it dies, I like the Doom Traveler variants, that happens to be an artifact that makes an artifact, which is also worth mentioning. It's in the right colors. I imagine this card will see play as like a little bit of a role player. Nothing to really phone home about, but it's got a purpose. Haven't really hit anything too exciting, but that's okay. It's good to get folks used to that as we go through the rest of the set. Perilous Snare, 2 and a white for an artifact that says Start Your Engines. Some of the best art in the set. When this artifact enters, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until this artifact leaves the battlefield. And then at max speed has tap, put a 1/1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control, activate only as a sorcery. God, I really wish I could find the tweet. It probably got deleted or something, but I remember seeing a tweet that was like talking about how the hatred of loot is an analog to fascism. And I think about it every time I look at loot. Every time I look at loot, I think of that tweet, because I think it's just it's a very terminally online reaction when like you don't need an analog to fascism. You just need to look at the news or the fact that you're on Twitter. Like they're not even analogs. There's just there's fascism everywhere for your eyes to see. But this card is not that great. And other than the art, because this hits the table, Start Your Engines is very funny for a card that effectively just is depicting somebody getting trapped. And then you need to continue the pressure to even get to this max speed, which is a reasonable payoff for sure. But I don't want my Banishing Lights to be blown up by a Braid, or my Banishing Lights to be blown up by, I guess we're getting a little bit flexible in what you can hit, right? Like we are getting more disenchants than we are getting shatters. But considering that like a Braid and Flame of Anor are very popular cards that a lot of archetypes are running around playing. This one I'm a little sus on. But if you are an artifact deck that cares about artifacts and you want to have a card like this, something bigger than Portable Hole, that's kind of interesting. You know, it's hard. On one hand, it being an artifact is less of a selling point, more of a, you know, more to its detriment in a deck just looking to play a Banishing Light or something to, you know, deal with any permanent. But the decks that care about artifacts are going to see this as a boon, you know? That card costs 1,000,000 mana. This card is kind of interesting. Probably not, but I think this is the first one that does it this way. Ride's End, 4 and a white for an instant. This spell costs 3 less to cast if it targets a tapped permanent. And you exile target creature or vehicle. Really awkward when you're trying to kill a questing beast and you can't. Obviously awkward if you're trying to kill a utility creature. These cards do have some play to them. The cost reduction's nice. Being able to dodge something like Spell Snare is also pretty nice. Exile on this ability is kind of huge. Awkward that they already get their Smuggler's Copter trigger or their Bronco trigger or whatever on attack, but you know, Exile makes up for it. And Beans. Anytime I see one of these cards, I think like, okay, could I play this with the idea of like triggering up the Beanstalk? You know, like could this go in like a Bant Beans style deck? And I think this one's closer than basically anything else. I don't know if it's entirely there, but if you're looking for another piece of instant speed creature removal, like you just want exiled creature removal, this card can probably put in some work. But again, that's a lot of parameters that we need to like tick off. We need to care about Beans or something similar, like having, I don't know, collect evidence or whatever. And we need to care about having more removal and exile removal. I mean, I can talk about this. I don't think this one's pretty is worth focusing too much time on. Roadside Assistance. 2 and a white for an enchantment aura. It enchants a creature or a vehicle, and when this aura enters, you make a 1/1 colorless pilot token that has this creature saddles, mounts, and cruise vehicles, so its power 2 greater. Enchanted permanent gets +1/+1 and has lifelink. The only reason I'm bringing this up is that depending on what other decks people are playing, depending on the kind of removal that gets played, I don't hate playing this style of card if there are edict effects running around and you're a deck that cares about enchantments. Like if you're like a Bogle style deck or a hexproof deck, something with auras. One of the other cards that is very similar to this is Squire's Devotion from Rivals of Ixalan. Is that being able to buff your creature and give lifelink. Lifelink is huge. That's the arguably the biggest thing, is that you get lifelink off of this. Meaning that you can race. You can put it on your Solana Ledgewalker or your what's it called? Fucking Invisible Stalker. And that lets you race more and gives you a token to dodge some of the edicts, right? Being able to dodge like a Liliana or what's the non-Children's edict that people play? The obvious downside is that, well, there's also a Children's edict that can get around this, making it a little bit of an iffy diffy. Yeah, Innocent Blood is a good one. So it's, if you want that kind of thing and you feel like maybe, you know, just having more creatures in play is going to be beneficial, or it helps you race, right? You slap it on the thing. It gets lifelink, you can hit them, and then this 1/1 can block with the 1/1. Like, I think that's okay. Yeah, I'm not sold on this card being like the be all end all, but you know, it's a reasonable addition that if people are looking to try out those decks, to consider. Knickknacks for the 30th month. Welcome back. How you doing? How you been? Glad to have you. May I say good to see you. Thank you so much for all the support. Acrobat Cat. Which of the two racing teams sound the most interesting to you? Beg your pardon? 2-color racing teams? I have no idea. I have my pre-release kit. I've looked at these cards. I've seen everything. I've looked at, what's going on here. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what the teams are. This is my level of investment in the theming of this set is pretty on par with Duskmourn. Pretty on par with Duskmourn. Yeah.
How dare you?
No.
I would have loved to have gone back to Amonkhet. I would have loved to have seen Moraganda. I would have loved to have spent time on Avishkar and gotten to see what has happened after all these monumental changes to the world of Magic the Gathering. And instead, we get another hat set. Cobalt Bow for the 4th month. W gameplay and lockdown. Oh, thank you. I love playing that game. It's so much fun. I was hoping we'd get to play more, but big ask, time zones all over the place. Yeah. But thank you so much for the support and the kind words. I think I've talked about most of these cards, or I don't want to talk about most of these cards. This one's kind of interesting. Tune Up. 3 and a white for a sorcery. You return target artifact from your graveyard, to play. If it's a vehicle, it becomes an artifact creature. So we already have Refurbish. Refurbish, for people that did not play in that standard season, is the Kaladesh 4-drop return artifact from your graveyard to play. You would get back Godpharaoh's Gift, and you would do some wacky stuff with that. Redundancy is the key. And I think we have another one, right? I don't actually know if I think Abuelo's Awakening can return that too. So yeah, we have Abuelo's Awakening. So if there is a big enough artifact for people to want to bring, cheat into play, bring back from the graveyard, we have redundancy now. I think between 3 is the money number, right? That's what you really want. If you're going to try to, cheat out your Portal to Phyrexia, cheat out, obviously not like a Blightsteel Colossus or something. There's probably some other big, dumb artifacts that are legal. We got Trash for Treasure if you're in red. It's a cool effect to have multiples of in order to maybe get something out of it. And this is another add to it, and they're all pretty easy on the colored mana, which is nice because if you're playing an artifact deck, maybe you're going to want more utility lands. Maybe you'll have colorless mana from Mana Rock Accelerants. It's just really easy to cast, really easy to weave into a turn where you're also casting Faithless Looting or activating some kind of looter or a cantrip to set it up. It makes it really easy to be the second spell that you're casting in a turn as well. That's a big sloth. Wait a minute. Is there a combo with this card? Unswerving Sloth. 3 white for a 5/5 sloth mount. Paul will be happy about this. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, it gains indestructible until end of turn. Untap all creatures you control. Huh. This one's pretty interesting. I think it can combo off with a couple of these extra combat cards, right? Like extra combat creatures. I mean, you can combo this with Kiki-Jiki. Not that we'll get it. What does Celebrant say? Hasn't been exerted this turn. Okay, so that's not going to do it. FOMO? You're missing out. Isn't it wild that second line of text giving an additional combat step to a creature is on a 2-drop? It's on a 2-drop that already does something. That's fucked. Yeah, Mount is a sorcery. but it just says while saddled. So even if this attacks and you untap everything, it is still saddled. And so if you can somehow get another combat step out of it, that's kind of when it attacks for the first time each turn. They've gotten really good at trying to make it so that you can't go infinite with these cards. I don't know. It's a thing. All right, well, that's white. Okay, last time we did this, there weren't many blue cards. Now we get to talk about blue cards. This one's kind of funny. Aether Siphon. Shark warning, by the way. I don't know. I'd have to ask Angel if this is if this kind of shark covers it, because it's not really a shark, but it's like a, I mean, it looks like it, but it's a gun. This is from League of Legends Arcane, right? 1 blue for an artifact. Start your engines. Pay 2 tap, draw a card. Max speed. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent mills 2 cards. Super Mega Death Rocket. It's kind of cool that there's just a card that lets you repeatedly draw cards. This is how, like, we've come so far from Jam Day Tome. It's beautiful. Mind you, Jam Day Tome hasn't seen printing since, like, 2015 or something. That's what Jinx's Rocket is called. That's very cool. That's really a really cool name. I really like that League of Legends is in this spot where it is so incredibly early 2010s for so much of it. And then they come out with like Arcane and it's critically received, and it's a big, like, it's a big thing. Well, it's Fishbones and something else. Yeah. Anyways, it's funny that now it's very like Pow Pow. That's what it is. Let's see what Pow Pow thinks. Get jinxed. Yeah, I remember. But it's very funny how incredibly 2010 that game and that series, like that kind of vibe is. And then they're like, no, actually it's serious. Anyways, I freaking love Epic Bacon. Here's my Shark Rocket, right? Anyways, we don't need to talk about this card. I just wanted to point out 3 mana artifact that pay 2 tap draw a card is pretty cool. This thing's kind of nice too. You're probably not playing it, but that's genuinely not that bad. Diversion Unit. 1 in a blue for a 2/1 artifact creature robot with flying, and pay 1 blue, sacrifice this creature. Counter target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays 3. I don't hate this card in like Gladiator Flying Men. I don't think I would play this in don't think I would play this card in Canadian Highlander. It has it has less range than Malevolent Hermit does. This guy. It's got less range than this guy. Malevolent Hermit being able to counter any non-creature spell. And then also the Disturb being able to play, a flyer and you get 2 things and yada yada. But if you are playing cheap artifact creatures, or if you just want a density of these kind of cards, the Pirates, there's Siren Storm Tamer, but that counters something targeting your thing. And that's a 1-drop. Unless there's some other pirate that I'm missing. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is, again, more of a Gladiator card than a Canadian Highlander card. I've been looking at Flying Men a bit recently. I don't think I would play this card in Flying Men. It being an artifact is also tough. Just means that, like, I don't know, their Canker Bloom or whatever can also just kill my creature. We're not really lacking 2 mana, 2 power flyers nowadays. So you have to kind of leverage the other text on this card. And we're already beating the instants and sorcery war. Like, our deck's just good at dealing with this or ignoring this. And then tacking on a card type that makes it more vulnerable is not ideal. Not ideal. Talked about Hull Drifter. Talked about this. New Merfolk. Mindspring Merfolk. 1 blue for a 1/1 Merfolk wizard that has Exhaust for X blue tap. Draw X cards. Put a 1/1 counter on each Merfolk you control. I like this card. I like this card in Merfolk. It's not great, admittedly. Like it has some play to it. The biggest thing is that Merfolk is just, you could make a Merfolk deck and it can be pretty good in like Canadian Highlander or even Gladiator, right? But the cards suck. Like, who are we kidding, right? As the premier Merfolk pilot of the format, or at least as the player to win a YJ weekly with Merfolk for the first time in like a decade or whatever. I don't even know if Jonah won with Merfolk. Maybe I think Jonah won with Merfolk. What I'm getting at is that the Merfolk suck, right? Oh, so many of the creatures stink. And you get up to like 30 creatures that you can justify playing 33. And then you're like, oh, I need like 10 more. Then you add all the clones and they're like, I mean, I guess I'll play Brazen Borrower, right? I should play Brazen Borrower. It's not a Merfolk, but it's so good. Yeah, maybe I could play. Then you start to looking at other things. This one is at least a 1-mana 1/1 that has blue tap. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. That's it. Like the fact that this can come down on turn 1 and later in the game, even without paying X, because it doesn't matter. You can pay 0 on X and still activate this and buff your entire team. And Merfolk like +1/+1 counters. Like, it's hard to argue with a 1-drop that is a Merfolk that scales pretty well. And if you have additional mana, then yeah, you can just be like, oh, it's turn 4 or whatever. I will draw 2 cards and buff my team. Not bad. This is wild though. This is so fucking funny to me. I like this style of art for these. Suck my seaweed. Jesus Christ. Merfolk on the points list. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. So, full disclosure, I'm a little upset that this is here. It's Muyan Ling Windrider. 2 blue and a blue for a 2/4 legendary human wizard pilot. When this creature enters, create a 3/2 colorless vehicle token with crew 1. Vehicles you control have flying. Whenever one or more creatures you control with flying deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. I really hate what they did to yes, they desparked my queen. I'm okay with them desparking her, but this just doesn't feel like Muyan Ling. This just feels like, well, what are we going to do with these characters? I know. How about we make this? Like, I guess her being in a traditional boat is a thing. What is the lore behind this card? What is the lore behind her in a race? Just feels... Yeah, I don't know. This just feels very weird. Feels very weird. Not into it. Not into it. Out of all the cards you had to put a hat on, why'd they have to put a hat on Muyan Ling? Like, why'd you have to do this? The search for her lost mentor continued. Yeah. Okay. It's, I don't know. Man, this set sucks. I hate the fucking vibes from this set. It's just a continuation of what we had last year. It's wild. I think I've done a complete 180 where I am more excited about Universes Beyond product than I am about real world Magic product. Like, what do we have this year? Magic 2025. So we got Aetherdrift. Oh, we have the Tarkir set. Okay, I'm kind of into the Tarkir set. I hope Edge of Eternities. No, Edge of Eternities is going to be like a top-down space opera set. Oh, they're going to be wearing hats. I'm just really sick of hat sets. And this feels like another hat set. Yeah, I don't know. I guess this card is fine. It'll be a cool commander. I don't think I would play this Magic card. She does not have flying. Her ETB is kind of interesting. It's hard for me to justify playing this card in something when Enduring Curiosity exists. That's all. That said, this art's kind of banging. Actually, I don't think they did justice to her hair. I'm sure this might look better in person. But, I mean, this art's pretty fucking good, though. It's wild. If this, you could just use this art for any Muyonling, right? Just like, sure, I'll buy that she's in a boat. I'll buy that she uses the winds to control shit, right? She's based off of, like, Chinese mythology, right? Have you read Journey to the West? There's so much random shit. They'll just come down from the heavens like riding an ox. So it's not even this. It's not even this. Like, yeah, this plays. It's the fact that she's a pilot and that they made her, like, it genuinely doesn't feel like this is for this set either. They're like, well, we need to put this somewhere. How about we put it here? Yeah, it's just they did my girl dirty, and I'm not a big fan. Possession Engine. Shark warning, by the way. 3 blue for a vehicle. It's a 5/5. It says when this vehicle enters, gain control of target creature and opponent controls for as long as you control this vehicle. That creature can't attack or block for as long as you control this vehicle. And it crew 3. So it ETBs, it steals their thing as long as you control the engine, but you can't attack or block with that card. However, you can crew it. You can use that to crew the possession engine. Probably not good enough. Certainly not good enough. Anyways, moving on. This card's pretty cool. I'd be interested in playing this card in Draft, the Ranger's Refueler. 2 mana, 3/3 vehicle. Whenever you activate an exhaust ability, you draw a card and has pay 4 a generic. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature. Put a 1/1 counter on it. Exhaust. And then crew 2. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of cool. Talked about repurposing Bay. This has some pretty funny art. River Churn Monument. 1 in a blue for an artifact. Pay 1 generic, tap any number of target players, each mill 2 cards. And then has exhaust 2 and 2 blue. Any number of target players, each mill cards equal to the number of cards in their graveyard. Mill's not going to really show up in any of the formats that we're talking about here. But this card is like kind of fucked for Commander, right? It's just like so cheap. You just do it every single turn. It does. Is this the racetrack? Did they build, like, is this supposed to be the racetrack? This isn't like a waterfall, right? Is this a water park? Wait, hold on. This is the racetrack? they built the racetrack around your monument to a god, and they have it over. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, so this is their god, right? This is a religious monument for your fertility goddess, or your like fertility goddess analog or whatever. One of the gods that you're like, we live because of you. And they built a fucking racetrack around her. Which also, the exhaust from all this getting into the water can't be good. This sucks, dude. This fucking sucks. This sucks. I guarantee evangelicals would be cool if there was a NASCAR track built around their churches. Well, yeah, because that's capitalism. The church loves taking money from people. That's their whole shtick, right? That's their whole jam. Of course they would. We don't necessarily need to have that happen for a society. It's just very weird to have a society where the storyline, the storyline surrounding this is like, oops, you tried to believe in something? Boom! Fuck your gods. Right? And then just every Reddit atheist is like, yeah! Yeah! I guess they shouldn't have believed in the spaghetti monster. And then Amonkhet just gets devastated like multiple times. And then they start to rebuild. And they have new gods to worship, or old gods that now have cards. I don't know that specific side of it, but. And then they build this and have a fucking racetrack. This is just very, very weird. I really can't wait until the PPR is over so I can shit on this set publicly. I mean, I probably can. And in fact, some may argue that I'm doing that right now. But yeah. Not cool. Not cool. Not how these gods work. What do you mean how the gods work? Aren't they gods? Don't people worship it? They worship these, right? Like the gods, they are manifestations of the faith of the populace lining up with different aspects of their way of life, right? That's a Theros thing? I mean, these don't have devotion. I feel like I'm maybe entering a second conversation. Like, gods are still gods. Do people not worship for their god? Do people not weep when their god dies? Like, I don't know. It leaves a bad, always around. They're not manifestations. They are worshipped. Right. They're worshipped. They exist. I mean, hold on. Isn't she literally, this calls her an embodiment of the Luxa. Does she not control the Luxa? I know that they exist. Well, I mean, even outside of the lore, can a god exist as a god if there isn't somebody to worship them? You know? Like, even outside of devotion or whatever, just the concept, even in the Amonkhet concept of it, right? Like, I don't know. It feels like they're pretty important, is what I'm trying to say, right? Hudra back for the 50th month. Thank you so much. Glad to have you. Good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Half a year. Fucked up. Anyways, Mario Kart. Maybe-o Kart. Maybe-o Kart? Why does Hazoret still have the jackal mask? Because Hazoret was the most recognizable of the gods, and thus will sell the most packs. Because Hazoret gets on base. Like, it's, yeah. Samu back for the 3rd year. What's this button do? Thank you so much, Samu. Very kind of you. Glad to have you. Good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Thank you so much. Isn't she the one who was alive from the original 5? Yeah, wasn't she like supposed to die and then came back? I know that she didn't turn into like God Eternal whatever. She was always alive? Well, because she's based. Yeah, she's very popular. She was designed to be the strongest competitive card. And then people really latched on and liked Hazoret. So then they're going to keep making Hazorets. They're going to write the story to keep Hazoret alive. They're going to have her stick around. And she's back. Because she sells packs, baby. Why do these cards exist? Because they sell packs. Roadside Blowout. 2 and a blue for a sorcery. The spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a permanent with mana value 1. Return target creature or vehicle and opponent controls to its owner's hand. Draw a card. Hate that this can't target your own thing. Not a fan that this can. But I kind of get why it can't target your own thing. Because probably pretty good in the like nurturing pixie deck, right? Of like you play the thing, they discard the card, the pixie this card back, you play this thing, you bounce the card. You put the lime in the coconut. I get it. I get it. But I miss having flexibility in bounce spells. Like bounce spells being able to target your opponent's thing. Miss that quite a bit. Sorcery speed, like it is kind of cool to be like, I could bounce a Construct. It's like, well, I mean, end of turn they make a Construct, then they untap, make a Construct. And it doesn't really do anything. I could bounce a Portable Hole. Well, then they could just play it again. I'm not super convinced this card is playable. Anytime I see a card that bounces a thing, draws a card, I want to take a look at it. But yeah, this is the kind of card. I wish there was the type of card where it's like you could trick yourself into thinking this is playable when ultimately you should just play a better card. Atomic Alchemical back for the 35th month. She got saved by her followers who worked together to impale the Scorpion God on an obelisk, if I recall correctly. Also 35 months. Thank you so much. Glad to have you. Good to see you. How you doing? How you been? How you doing? How you been? Already do my opinion on the birthing pod style artifact card. I like that it's 3. I hate that it costs 2 to activate. Still a pretty reasonable magic card. I'm going to play around with it. It does suck that you can't find Black Lotus. But being able to find KCI, the fact that you can find Corridor Monitor is kind of nice. Obviously, you can go a 0 into a Voltaic Key to untap this, to then find Corridor Monitor, to untap this, to then find a 3-drop. I don't know what 3s you can play to untap. You could play Galvanic Key. Galvanic Key is hilarious because it's... Oh, Galvanic Key is a 2. It costs 3 to untap. That's what it is. There's probably a 3-mana artifact that can untap it. And then you can get into Clock of Omens or whatever. Galvanic Key is so funny. I've thought about playing Galvanic Key in Time Vault combo, but it's just like... That's so much mana. So much mana. Anyways, moving on. I don't really like this card. I saw this card getting talked about online negatively, and I don't know why, because this is so inoffensive as far like they built a fucking racetrack around their around a religious monument for a god. Spikeshell Harrier, 4 and a blue for a 4/4 artifact creature, robot turtle. When this creature enters, return target creature or vehicle an opponent controls to its owner's hand. If that opponent's speed is greater than each other player's speed, Reduce that opponent's speed by 1. This effect can't reduce their speed below 1. Yeah, it's a blue shell. That's it. It's just a blue shell. That feels like a thing that you could print. Like, the fact that you know what a blue shell is, you can be like, oh, it's a blue shell. If you don't know what a blue shell is, it still can fit because everything looks so fucking goofy here. I don't think this is that bad. This is so incredibly inoffensive to me. Like, I mean, in the greater scheme of things, sure it is. But, like, I don't know. Have you seen the shit that they're putting out? I just feel like this is a weird thing to get worked up about, you know? Like, this is just a weird one. Yeah, it's just this set already has weird little robots. You could show this to someone that doesn't know what Mario Kart is, and they could understand this in the world of Aetherdrift, right? Like, you can get that. Daring Mechanic? I already looked at Daring Mechanic. Right? That's the one on the side of the... Or I didn't look at it, but I kind of laughed at it. Yeah, he kind of looks like Speed Racer's dad, right? I guess he kind of looks like Mario. I don't know. He kind of just looks like an Italian guy. Yeah. People, when they see a card with a blue shell, oh, boo, 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 boo. People, when they see fucking Chandra doing the Akira slide, oh, I love Japan. I love Japan. Like, I don't know. You shouldn't be too surprised by the schlock that they're giving you, right? And I don't think this schlock is any worse than anything else in here. In fact, I think this one is more defensible than some of the other stuff. The Speed Racer movie is pretty good. I haven't seen the pilot. I mean, maybe I have. Hold on. I can't show that on camera. No, I've seen the vehicle token. Maybe it's the vehicle token. Well, I don't want to talk about anything. I have seen the vehicle token that Chandra makes. Stock up. 3 and a blue for a sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. This card's expensive. It is a divination, but you get 2 cards. It's like a really fucked up divination. I would try this. I could see myself playing this in some of the slower blue X decks that have like enough recovery tools or that go over the top, right? Like 3 mana for like a... It's not dig through time, but 3 mana for like kind of a dig through time is pretty good. This is one of the better like 3 mana draw card spells that you can get. So I'm more into this than not into this, but I think it's a like I don't know. It's the kind of card that even if you did see play, you would have to be a very specific style of you'd have to be a very specific style of slower blue deck, control deck, or like a storm deck or whatever that needs a density of these cheap cards to look at. But I could see it getting phased out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this thing. Thing but Japan. Oh. Oh. All right, let's move on. We talked about all these cards. Oh, here we go. I mean, okay. I don't want to complain too much. This is Transit Mage. 2 and a blue for a 2/2 human wizard that says when this creature enters, you may search your library for an artifact card with mana value 4 or 5, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle. Okay. I do not like that this finds both a 4 or a 5. Like, can't you just make it find one and then you put the other in a commander product? Like, this sucks. This sucks. Like, just find one. Please. I'm begging you, just find one. I really dislike this card. I wish this card was worse. Transit Mage is also just like not the great. It's not great. I mean, I guess if you're running out of words to use here, if you're in a driving set, sure, why not? Yeah. Hate that it finds both. We had a good thing going and you fucked it up. We just wanted, like, you know, we just wanted to have the classic, you know? We had the options. We had chocolate, we had strawberry, we got vanilla, we even got butterscotch up top. And then you came in and were like, hey, how about banana? How about fucking banana root beer? And you're like, okay, well, actually, that could hit. Or peanut butter banana. So it was like, here's peanut butter banana. It's like, okay, that would hit. But wouldn't it make more sense to have peanut butter and banana separate? And then you can mix them if you want. And you're like, nope, you get peanut butter and banana. It's like, okay, well, I kind of like that we had a thing going here. Yes, Trinket Mage does technically find 0 or 1, but they very clearly went off of that. And also, this is still different from the 0 or... Well, Trinket Mage does technically find 0 or 1. And Treasure Mage finds 6+. This is just clunkier, right? Like, they're not going to make a find a 7 drop. They could make one that finds a 0 drop, but when they wanted to continue the trend, they're like, okay, this goes low, this goes high. Then they started putting the pieces in the middle. Fill it all out. Flesh that shit out. That's so much more interesting. That also just builds excitement for like, ooh, I wonder when they're going to make the one that finds a 5. I wonder when they're going to make the one that finds something else. Very weird. As far as playability goes, this card's fucked up, right? Like, it finds the One Ring, Karkline Ironworks, Paradox Engine, Aetherflux Reservoir, finds... God, what did I say? KCI already? KCI, Birthing Pod, Aetherflux Reservoir, the One Ring, Paradox Engine, even finds like the boat. Yeah, can find Goblin Charbelcher. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Unstoppable Plan. 2 and a blue for an enchantment. It says at the beginning of your end step, untap all... Yeah, finds Chaos Defiler. That's pretty cool. Untap all non-land permanents you control. Ooh, finds Panoptic Mirror. Beginning of your end step, untap all non-land permanents you control. Cheaper Wilderness Reclamation. Well, importantly, Wilderness Reclamation untapped all your lands, which is the best thing to untap. Yeah, it finds Memory Jar. Maybe it's just because this this art does feel very early Magic, except for the guy from Rogue One, the guy from the Suicide Squad, or the Harley Quinn show, the other guy from the Harley Quinn show, the third guy from the Harley Quinn show. I don't know. I look at this card and I'm like, damn, people are going to overvalue the hell out of this thing. untapping all online permanents on your end step is kind of cool, but I just don't know. It feels a little win more. Wilderness Reclamation pays for itself, right? That card is strong because you play it, it immediately untaps everything, and then you get to hold up permission or card draw or whatever, and it's effectively a free card. This doesn't do anything without other permanents in play, and even then, like, the decks that play all these other permanents are typically not playing permission. It can untap Time Vault. That's kind of funny. You can untap Time Vault. You can untap your One Ring if you want. It just feels very unnecessary and win more. I'm not super stoked to play this card. I'm sure there's some kind of goofy lock as well that I'm missing. Like, you can maybe do something with like Magistrate Scepter and Gladiator or whatever. Maybe there's some card that does untap the thing. Untaps and then lists 3 of the most broken cards of all time. Classic. Finally, we found a card to make Grim Monolith the One Ring Time Vault. I can use my Mother of Words to push damage, and then I get to save it. When it untapped Time Vault, can you use Time Vault in the same end step to get an extra turn? Absolutely. You bet you can. Cool Dramatic Reversal. I think that's the one, yeah. Okay. Well, we don't need to talk about that card. It is another reanimation card. It's a 5-mana one. We have so many of those. I'm not super into this card. Yeah, we talked about Bloodghast last time. What the fuck? What the this is what's her name? Street Fighter 5 players, help me. Minot? She's got like Minot. This is that one Minot skin. Yeah, it's this one. Oh god. I'm going to put this on screen. This character has a wild ultimate, by the way. I mean, I'm just going to call it I'm calling it ultimate for all the people that don't know any words from these games. Like, this is just this, right? Oh my god. All right, great. Yeah, it does have fucking Pokemon Pocket borders. All right, let me... Jesus Christ. Snatched ass waste. All right. 2 and 2 black for an artifact that has tap... Or sorry, zombies you control get +1/+1. Tap, target creature in your graveyard gains a bomb until end of turn. The bomb cost equal to its mana cost. This card's not that bad. Like, this effect is kind of messed up. Getting to cast creatures from your graveyard. Like, I could see this card showing up in Gladiator. I could play this card in Canlander Zombies, honestly. Yeah, you can find this with the Transit Mage. Yeah, I don't actually hate this card. This ability is pretty good, right? Yeah, you don't get cast triggers, but you get your ETBs, and you get an uncounterable creature, right? Uncounterable creature that is now boosted from this. Yeah, I think this card's pretty good. Niche application, but I could even see testing this out in like a slower black-green, like not like a dredge deck, but something like really grindy, you know? Like, imagine giving all your... This card basically says like all your creatures have flashback, right? And they get bigger. And they're uncounterable. That's not bad. That puts in work. This is so fucked, though. like what this is... Yeah, this has big Earthbind vibes. I'm not playing Magic the Gathering to come, bro. I'm playing Magic... Oh! I'm not playing Magic. You ready for bars? I'm not playing Magic the Gathering to come, bro. I'm playing Magic the Gathering to combo. Coney said he was wrong? No. No, sorry. He put that out. He put that out into the world. Put it on the shirt. +2. Oh, we're back in business. Wait, is this fucking family? Demonic Junker. 6 and a black for a 4/3 artifact vehicle with affinity for artifacts. When this vehicle enters, for each player, destroy up to one target creature that player controls. If a creature you control was destroyed this way, put 2/1/1 counters on this vehicle. Crew 2. I think this card's actually pretty good in artifact decks, obviously, but in like artifact mid-range strategies or in like the welder decks, right? Being able to goblin welder this card over and over again is pretty hot. Kind of feels like it's not Chaos Defiler, but few are. And then like just a pretty strong card to have in artifact midrange. Like 1 mana or 2 mana ETB, kill your thing. And then maybe use it as a sack outlet as well. And Crew 2 is a very easy Crew 2 is very easy to hit. Yeah, I think this card's pretty good. I imagine this card will see, much like a lot of these Artifact Matters cards, niche application where this shows up. I don't think you're playing this in a deck that can't take advantage of, well, this affinity for artifacts. But yeah, pretty dope. Pretty dope. I think this will see quite a bit of play in the Artifact Matters deck. This shit's funny to me. Brother. Gas Guzzler. 1 black for a 2/1 vampire rogue with start your engines. This creature enters tapped and has max speed. Pay a black, sacrifice another creature or vehicle, draw a card. This card's great. It's a 2-power 1-drop in black. It's got a relevant creature type in vampire. I mean, honestly, rogue could be relevant too. It's a 1 mana 2-power creature with a relevant creature type that has comes down early to start your engines in a strategy or a set of strategies that can increment their speed pretty easily. And then this max speed ability is really fucking good. It's really good. Like, being able to just cash in your creatures for cards. I imagine this card will see play in vampires, aristocrats, certain versions of aristocrats, I should say. And even like black aggressive decks like Black Mold, or I could even see this in like a more aggressive black-white kind of deck, like the black-white shitters style deck. If you're a bit more aggressive. This ability is so good. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like 1 black, sack one of your dorky tokens to draw a card. Instant speed for a single mana. Sheesh. Pair this with, you know, all your blood artists or whatever, and you're off to the races. Get it? It's Aetherdrift and they're racing. Meth and June back for the 67th month. Welcome back. How you doing? How you been? Glad to have you. Good to see you. Thank you so much for all the support. It's Ben Stiller. I too follow Brian Kibler on social media. Watch the Commander at Home episode. It's still fresh. Is this Ben Stiller? Is this a white guy with the like what's that hairstyle that they put on black video game characters nowadays? Like for every single character? Is this a white dude with that hairstyle? No, not an afro. The like undercut kind of thing. Yeah, this is a very my racially ambiguous gas guzzler. Oh, Ben Stiller was already photoshopped into it. Yeah, like the shaved locks. The kind I see people on Twitter complaining about a lot. The hairstyle I see racists on Twitter complaining about a lot, and then also not racists complaining about it on Twitter a lot. Gastal Raider. I assume this is a place. Gastal Raider, 2 and a black for a 2/1 vampire rogue with start your engines. When this creature enters, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose an instant or sorcery from that, and that player discards that card. And at max speed, this creature gets +1/+1 and has menace. I could see this card showing up. Like, hitting the table and pulling a card from their hand is not nothing. Hitting only instants and sorceries is a little bit of a pisser, because we got that Warlock, right? What the fuck were you called? Thought Stalker Warlock. Like we got this card that is so much better. It is, and this card is always going to have menace, right? 2/2 menace. We're always doing this thing. I think that Thought Stalker Warlock is just better unless you want this kind of effect and you want to play a vampire, right? Win or lose, she will sate her hunger. She's not going to text you, bro. Yeah, they're both outlaws. It's okay. So the start your engines thing implies that you want to play this in a deck that can repeatedly push damage, right? Like, start your engines is at its best when you're a deck that can push damage. You can hit people. You can push some damage. Oh, fucking light of God coming in. I pulled it the wrong way. Yeah, there you go. It's still going to be a little. What can I do? That's just the light. Yeah, I don't know. They both start your engines, and the requirement for this ability to trigger want you to push damage, want you to be able to hit them before you get it in. But this thing will always have menace. This thing doesn't always have menace. Even if this thing doesn't trigger off the hit, they're still just discarding a card, so it's like it's just a Ravenous Rats. Whereas this thing, you do get the information always. You might not always hit. Yeah. It's I think I'm just playing Thought Stalker Warlock unless you want this kind of card and you're a vampires deck. This set looks weak. I'm with Shivam in that I think I'm okay having sets that are lower power level. I'm not okay. I mean, I'll talk to you about this in person, I'm sure. I'm not a huge fan of this set thematically. I would be okay with this set if it was like, even if they're like, okay, we're doing a racing set and it's going to be kind of goofy. Here's the racing set and you're doing some racing things and that's cool. I would be into it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get you. I don't want this. I don't like that this is, you know, hey, check out Avishkar, check out Muraganda, check out Amonkhet. We built a fucking speedway around your religious monument. I think that shit's weak. Because honestly, if they just made this like a Mad Max set with like different, like if they just did Mad Max, I think I would be into it. That lets you get the vehicles, that has the pressure for racing. Like, I don't know. This is just not doing it for me. This just feels like MKM. Yeah, it's the fact that it's a hat set. The fact that they're like, hey, here are things you know and you remember and can acknowledge. What if they were, what if your favorite character got to be in Fortnite, right? Or whatever. Like, what if your favorite character got to do this thing? And it's like, no, I don't want that. You can do goofy. If my thought is that you can do goofy, you can do these sets with these themes, if you commit to the bit. And to me, putting in characters that frankly feel dissonant to the world and to the theme, or doing this on planes that also feel like, hey, you recognize this? Well, guess what? It's in here, so now you have to shut the fuck up about this on Twitter. Feels like you don't believe in your product. That's what it comes off to me. It comes off as you don't believe in this. Why wouldn't you? Which is weird, because why wouldn't you believe in a fucking Mad Max world? I mean, did they see that Furiosa didn't do as well? And they're like, ooh. Furiosa, by the way, if you haven't seen it, fucking great film. I don't know. It just... Not a fan. Not a fan. Not a fan. Intimidation tactics. 1 black for a sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose an artifact or creature from it, exile that card, and then has cycling for 3. Irks me because the world building I saw the team do was phenomenal and it all feels wasted. Yeah, dude. Magic the Gathering in a nutshell. They built up these cool worlds, and now we're getting this. Remember Ravnica? Well, we're going to do a set that isn't Ravnica at all. Sorry. I hope they do Tarkir. Please, please don't fuck up Tarkir. Please don't fuck up Tarkir. At least you can approach this with some, like, plausible deniability, or maybe not plausible deniability, some, like, you can kind of instill some cognitive dissonance for yourself. No, actually, you just lie to yourself. You can lie to yourself and be like, this doesn't count as the Avishkar set. This isn't the Avishkar set. This isn't the Amonkhet set. Right? Copium. Yeah, sure. You can huff the copium. You can lie to yourself. And you can be like, these are not the set. This is not our visit to these sets. And we'll get them again. Because it's just such a small kind of visiting. Right? Like, I knew that we were basically never going to see, what is it? Shenmeng, the plane of mountain and seas. I knew we weren't going to go there. Would love to go there, but I know that we're not going to go there. If we do, incredible. Would love to go there. But I am not expecting it. Right? But just because we're not going there doesn't mean I want to see Mu Yanling in any place they're going to try to shove her, right? I don't know. It's... Yeah. Not great. I should be talking about this card. I think this card is fine. People play cards like Dreams of Steel and Oil. Cycling is pretty nice. I think if you are choosing to play another piece of 1-mana hand attack, I think there's a defensible argument to play Intimidation Tactics over Dreams of Steel and Oil. Either one. Yeah, I think we are going to get out of this hat era at some point in time. Like, for all of my criticisms and for all of my cynicism surrounding some of the development that comes with these sets, the team behind Magic is incredible at their job, right? They are smart people that are invested in the world and the game, right? They're the ones getting paid the big bucks. So I believe that this is like, you know, maybe was a calculated measure to put out these type of sets, try out this type of set, try out this type of theming, this type of vibe, and it swing and a miss, but they know that they're not going to be able to stay there forever, right? Like, Magic hasn't done that. They haven't gone like, okay, we're going to try out this thing to make like a thematic vibe, and then stick with it for like a decade, right? They're like, okay, well, people are eventually going to get sick of this kind of thing. You're saying, somebody in chat, Catchboy J, is saying, Maro said they know people hate the hats. Takes 2 years to turn the good ship of MTG. I got to imagine, though, it's not going to be 2 full years of hats and then they do the flip. It's going to be like they'll start curbing the hats off at some point in time, right? Yeah. Yeah, we're doing 3 Universes Beyond sets instead. What does hat mean in this context, Cheslan? One, your message got God because the word sorry is banned in chat. But what we're talking about hats... Oh, sorry, 1 second. True Tit, you're going to want to use this code instead. It literally updated yesterday. Eggs! Like last night. Let me edit that. Hat, in this context, is being used to describe these sets where they are like theme episodes, right? You know how in a TV show, like in Star Trek Next Generation or whatever, they go to the cowboy planet or they go back in time to the cowboy era and everybody dresses up like a cowboy, even though they're not cowboys, right? Sorry, I was updating this as well. Oh. Duo. There we go. Yeah, it's that's what I mean by hats. I hope I explained it well. They're theme episodes, but for Magic sets. As a hat hater and a Universes Beyond hater, I'm feeling like 2025 isn't for me. I mean, I am optimistic for Edge of Eternities and Tarkir. And I don't care as much about Universes Beyond anymore. It's just, I'm too old. If the gameplay is good, who gives a shit? Am I an Avatar enjoyer? I have thoughts about Avatar: The Last Airbender that is going to cost me a lot of money. No, it's not banned because of Canadian. It's banned because the audience to our channel trends towards a group of neurodivergent people or queer people that are the type of people that tend to over-apologize or feel like they have to apologize non-stop. And I don't like people apologizing when they don't need to apologize. And so I try to nip it in the bud this way. And when somebody asks about it, every time somebody hearing this explanation for the first time ends up thinking like, oh shit, I do apologize a lot. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should be like, yeah, you know. Also, yeah, it's funny. That helps. As do F302. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for subscribing and supporting the channel. That's very kind of you. Glad to have you. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Enjoy the emotes and the no ads. Timmy Daisky, did I already get you for the 29th month? Welcome back. Thank you so much for the support. Glad to have you. Good to see you. Yeah, I just don't care about Universes Beyond anymore. I'm too fucking old. I like the gameplay. If the gameplay works, then it works. Like, fucking spitting Dilophosaurus. I don't care that it's got a Jurassic... I don't care that my godfather, Wayne Knight... I assume this is Wayne Knight. I don't care that my godfather is getting killed in the artwork. I just don't... No, I'm 33. I'm not that old. But I just don't care. It's just like, okay, sure, whatever. If the gameplay's good, fine. Been watching on YouTube for the last year. Beyond stoked to help out, man. Oh, thank you so much. Glad to hear. Shout outs to the YouTubers, to the VOD watchers. They are the real fucking heroes. They are the real heroes. I mean, shout out to the people that watch live as well. They're the real heroes. Is Theros not a hat theme set? there's a difference between a top-down thematic set such as Theros and a set. I don't think Theros is that much of a hat set, because Theros isn't trying to win us over with gimmicks, right? Theros isn't a set that is trying. Theros is trying to win you over through recognition more than reference. You know, like there's a big difference between looking at a set like Theros and going like, oh, I know about, you know, Greek and Roman mythology because I'm fucking alive, right? I'm living in the world. I indulge myself in culture. Like, you're able to pick up things that, you know, those sets that draw from the real world and from history. And you go, that resembles something I'm familiar with, but they have made it into Magic the Gathering. References is when these Magic sets go like, hey, remember the time, hey Lois, remember the time that Chandra did an Akira slide? Right? Like, the reference sets, the hat sets are very much like, we're taking something you know, an IP you know, and mixing it with a theme you like. And we're smooching them together. We're taking characters that have no real reason to find themselves in this area, in this world, in this setting, and we are now putting them in this setting, right? Oh, does somebody have the fuck, we need to... Now that I've watched some Northern Lion stuff, I really wish we had our own librarian. That is something... There's got to be somebody here with the same amount of autism and that would be able to do that. Now, I'm not asking you to do that because that's a wild thing to do, but like there was a tweet made. God, maybe I still have it somewhere. It's one of the worst Magic the Gathering tweets I've ever seen. It is so fucked. But it was like a tweet made that said something. They were talking about like, I'm sick and tired of people calling this the Fortnitification, and they called Fortnite a slur or something. Does somebody know what I'm talking about? Somebody know the text or the tweet I'm talking about? They referred to it as a slur. It's in the Discord. Oh, Yeet the Rich, if you could find it, that would be... I mean, you don't have to find it. This isn't a job for anybody. It's okay. It's okay. But it's so fucking funny, man. I mean, Fortnite can be a slur. But also, brother, if you don't think I'm dropping down in Tomato Town and getting a double kill, like, you're out of your goddamn mind. I'm sick of people using Fortnitification as a slur on what? I don't know. Fortnitification is a slur. Fortnite is wildly popular, a lot of fun, and manages to provide enjoyable, casual, and competitive spaces. Very weird thing to go to bat to. My towers are so tilted right now. Fuck it, I might stop the stream and play some Fortnite. Get Godzilla doing the gritty? Kane guest for the 300 bits. Here's to 33 Wheeler. Join the club today. Oh, happy birthday. Wow, it was... Yeah, sorry, when I say stop the stream, I mean stop the set review, and people just watch me play Fortnite. The game part of Fortnite? What do you mean? You go around shooting people with guns, and you sometimes get to shoot a Kamehameha. It rules. Yeah. Fortnitification is great because apparently it's a slur, but also it is just genuinely a lot of fun. Like, it's genuinely a lot of fun. I'm not saying it's a good game, but it is a fun game. Sound of White Noise for the 51st month. Thank you for the YouTube uploads, because when I don't have insomnia, Wait, when I don't have insomnia, I can't catch these live. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Well, thank you for the support. Thank you for the 51 months. Yeah, I can't believe I was so disenchanted with YouTube for so long. I mean, I'm, still not the greatest, but I should have just like sucked it up and tried to figure it out earlier, because a lot of people use those VODs. They watch the VODs. They need the VODs. Helps them watch at work or whatever. Helps them fall asleep to watching it. And it's good money. It's good money. Oh, speaking of the Northern Lion arc, my Peloton arrived today. My Peloton has arrived. Finally. I can finally Peloton. What if I get on the Peloton playing Fortnite? Brain Fist for the 9th month. Card baby. Oh, congratulations, babe. We did it, babe. Thank you so much for the support. Glad to have you. Good to see you. The funny thing to me about the backlash against Fortnite is that the huge reason Fortnite got popular was backlash against dull brown everything. Is that a Das Racist song? Yeah, Fortnite definitely is just like, hey, are you tired of playing PUBG and can't discern one thing from another? Well, here's something that's so vibrant. You'll be able to just, so vibrant. You'll be able to tell what it is. Exercise bike as a service. I'll admit I'm privileged enough to be in a position where I can pick up a Peloton and use it. But yeah, you know what? I will pay money to something that helps my fat ass lose weight. I got no shame in that game. Oh, Crimothy. Welcome. I hope you had a good stream. Except for the part where we killed each other a bunch. I mean, that part was the best one. Thank you so much for the raid. Happy birthday, by the way. Everybody sing happy birthday to Crim. Bonne fête à toi. Bonne fête à toi. Bonne fête, Crimothy. Bonne fête à toi. Thoughts on the blue-black Gear Hulk? I think it's better than it looks. I don't know. Ward 144 lifelinker that gets to V-click people, including their lands? That card seems kind of like a pisser, right? It dodges long goodbye. It survives the nowhere to run. Doesn't get cut down, obviously. Can't go for the throat it. Card seems pretty good to me. I think I'm okay. Yeah, I think I'm definitely in the camp of like, I like that card. I like that card. We're doing a set review here, but we also took a brief segue to talk about Fortnite. We can keep going. We can keep going. Maybe not for these cards. They're all 1,000,000 mana. Oh, the Speed Demon. I do like this art. Miku is in Fortnite? Yeah, and she's in Magic the Gathering. And Fortnite's in Magic the Gathering. Godzilla can do the gritty. Like, Miku can do the gritty. Have you seen the clip of, I think it was, was it Goku? It was just like a clip of somebody getting killed by a Goku. And then 2 more Gokus popped up. And they all stood around the corpse. But like, when you get shot, you get downed or whatever. And then a Miku showed up and started singing. And then when Miku was done singing, the Gokus killed the person that was down. It was like a ritual. Like these Gokus were worshiping Miku. It was great. The Speed Demon. 3 black 5/5. Flying, trample, legendary demon. Start your engines. At the beginning of your end step, you draw X cards and lose X life, where X is your speed. You know, I think I'll try this card out in Gladiator. It does draw you a card on end step. 5 mana, 5/5 flying trample. I mean, my thought is that this card is just not playable in Canlander. Maybe you could justify it in like a mono black mid-range or mono black control deck. Because it's big. It's big. Sure is a commander card, though. Slurs, apparently. Hey, not my words. Somebody else on Twitter. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. I mean, I don't know what that person's been through in their own life or whatever, but usually the slurs that I get called are or a different F slur than Fortnite. But sure, I guess Fortnite's a slur. I really like the design of this card, like the artwork on this card. This is the kind of goofiness that I can get behind, because you could see some goblins or some shit building this, right? Like, this is just classic goblin engineering right here. Flample. I mean, a clumsy portmanteau could belong to anybody. Are there any good energy cards? There is an energy deck. I will talk about the commander cards in a second here. I like that it has a bunch of keywords. That's it. Oh, it's a 6/3? Cool. We talked about these. This one's weird. I don't think it's going to be playable, but End Rider Catalyzer. 1 in red for a 3/1 human warrior. Start your engines at max speed. It taps for double red. Very weird. Very weird. Reminds me of a mother recounting to her son a song contained the F word. He thanks her for the warning, then later went, "Oh, you mean the CKF word." Yeah, I don't mind that. Pretty sure. This is very weird. We had Manic Vandal. I guess it gets a lot. Manic Vandal would be huge in this kind of set. Yeah, this card's not good. Make a treasure token. No. No. This card's probably fine. There's not much to talk about, though. Grease Wrench Goblin. 1 mana for a 2/1 Goblin Artificer with Exhaust for 2 in a red. Discard up to 2 cards and draw that many cards. Put a 1/1 counter on this creature. It is a it's a 1 mana 2 power creature that has a Goblin relevant creature type that also has a mana sink where you can cash in some bad cards for good cards and make this bigger. Aren't you the Twitch guy that did Commander at home? Who, me? That's right. I'm Brian Kibler. I'm just kidding. Yep. You're here. You're at the right place. Welcome, everybody. My name is the Asian Avenger. The premier Asian content creator for Magic the Gathering. There is a 1 mana 2/1 in here that cycles or something. The white Latino Avenger. This card looks so good in foil, by the way. And this is the kind of thing I was talking about, where by all metrics, I should hate this, right? I should hate this kind of card. This kind of art style. It's just not my jam. Where's the blue hair? I keep it next to my pronouns. I had blue hair once when I was 12. It did not work. Does not jam with my red hair, I found. Maybe because the hair dye was not great. Yeah, this card looks so good in foil. Don't want to talk about that. We've already talked about that. Somebody said there was a 2-power thing that cycles. Maybe it hasn't been previewed yet, or not officially added to this. I'll talk about some of the other cards when we get beyond that. A blue stash. I think I talked about this. Right? Afterburner Expert. 2 and a green for a 4/2 Goblin Artificer. With exhaust for 2 green. Put 2 1/1 counters on this card. And whenever you activate an exhaust ability, return this card from your graveyard to play. 3 mana, 2 toughness, not for me. It is kind of cute that you can exhaust this, make it a 6/4, and then when this dies, if you exhaust something else, this comes back to play. Then you could exhaust this again. But yeah, I don't know. 2 toughness on a 3 mana creature that doesn't do anything else? Nope, not for me. Not for me, thanks. Not for me, thanks. Damn, this card's fucked. What? Autark? Autark? It's like a tyrant, right? 6 mana, 5/5 elephant mount. When this enters and whenever it attacks while saddled, create a 3/3 green elephant, saddle 5. This card's not playable in any of the formats we're talking about, but 6 mana for 8/8 worth of power and toughness across 2 bodies that can then start pooping out more 3/3s. That's kind of dope for an uncommon. Did I get this in my pool? Oh, they printed them. They show. Okay. I've been waiting for this mascot. No. Wait, is this better? Vivian's Grizzly? Yeah, this card's a better Vivian's Grizzly. For Pauper? Look at the top 3 cards, put a permanent from them into your hand, the rest on the bottom in any order. Cool. This one's kind of weird, right? Defend the Rider. 1 green instant. Choose 1. Target permanent you control gains hexproof and indestructible, or you make a 1/1 colorless pilot token that has the Crewer thing. Yeah. Grizzly's a cheaper activation. Yeah, but aren't you activating Grizzly when you have like infinite mana? Like you're already activating the Grizzly when you have infinite mana. Worse Tameo Safekeeping? Isn't this better Tameo Safekeeping? This hits any permanent. Tameo Safekeeping also does this, but this has the added ability of like, oh, I drew another protection spell, but I don't have a creature. So here's a creature. Yeah, and works against the non-Shieldred's Edict. I think this card's pretty good. Yeah, I'd play this card. I mean, there's only so many slots you have for these kind of cards, but like a flash 1/1 is pretty reasonable. Oh, hell yeah. District Mascot. 1 green for a 0/0 dog mount. This creature enters with a 1/1 counter on it. Pay 1 and a green, remove 2 1/1 counters from it. Destroy target artifact. When this creature attacks while saddled, put a 1/1 counter on it. I like this card a lot. Obviously very good in a counters deck that you can repeatedly put counters on it. Kind of has that hopeful initiate style of effect. I don't know why I'm putting my arm up here. I'm just, I'm chilling. Hey, what's up? This makes me feel really casual. Saddling this is also super easy. Like even the curve of play this on 1, turn 2, play another creature, crew this thing, attack, or saddle this thing, attack them for 2. That seems pretty good. Yeah, I like this card. I could see this card being played in Green X aggressive decks. In Canlander, I think this is mostly reserved to the counters decks, but it's good in that. Like we get so many new counters card to every set, but I think this one's actually great. Like it's a 1-drop. The fact he's presented corgi size is obnoxious. What's the expected mount? A pigeon? No, but I think that's the joke. This is a good way of making an in-universe joke, right? Like it's just the mascot and it's like, oh, right? Like everybody knows you're not going to ride the corgi, but it's cute, right? Yeah, if there's another card where he's huge, then great. I don't know. It feels to me like this is the kind of thing where, yeah, they in universe, like if you were at a race where you had a bunch of representatives from other places, like a horse race or whatever, right? And they bring out a little dog, and the dog is like set up with a saddle, like you could have a jockey on it. That'd be cute. That's a thing they fucking do, right? That's literally like a Halloween costume. This is the kind of levity that I'm okay with. I'm into this kind of thing. Where it's like, yeah, I could see the people that are living their damn lives in this world being like, oh yeah, that's cute. It's a dog. Everybody likes dogs. Or yeah, the saddle is taking it for a walk. Multiple interpretations. All of them pretty cute. Dredger's Insight. 1 and a green for an enchantment. Whenever one or more artifact and or creatures leave your graveyard, gain 1 life. When this enchantment enters, mill 4 cards. You may put an artifact, creature, or land card from among the milled cards into your hand. This one's kind of interesting for the decks that are playing like the Grizzly Salvage style cards. Artifact is kind of funny. I guess because so many cards that bring back creatures end up bringing back vehicles as well. So you kind of need that or an artifact. Also kind of fits, I guess, for like getting a vehicle out of the muck. They did that in Star Wars. Oh, it's Star Wars. It is an enchantment, and typically the decks that play self-mill cards also have cards that care about Delirium. So having an enchantment in your yard is pretty good with Delirium. You know, you can blink this card. You could do some cool stuff with this. Yeah, I like this card. Pretty good. Again, narrow application of where you're going to want to play it, but it does something that deck wants to do. Has a nice little bonus from the life gain and an added benefit in that it'll stick around in play, or if it's milled, it'll provide an additional type for Delirium. This corgi. Talked about these. I don't think I've talked about this Ooze card. March of the World Ooze. 3 green, green, green for an enchantment. Creatures you control have base power and toughness 6/6 and are oozes in addition to their other types. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if it's not their turn, you create a 3/3 green elephant creature token. Unfortunately, even though you can just play this and have it be kind of like an overrun, 6 mana is just way too much mana for this kind of card, especially when you know, they're just better overrun style cards to play. This is mostly a commander card here. I would not recommend playing this in Canlander or Gladiator, because like I can paint a scenario where it's like, oh, I have all these creatures out, and then I play this card. Now all my 1/1s or my tokens are now 6/6s. But then you have this line of text that isn't really doing too much. Who cares if you make a 6/6 elephant? It's yeah, commander card. Cool commander card though. Oh, I've been waiting to talk about this one. Molt Tender. 1 green for a 1/1 insect druid that has tap mill a card and tap exile a card from your graveyard. Add 1 mana of any color. I think this card is good. I like this card. It's, people are inevitably going to compare it to Deathrite Shaman. It's not Deathrite Shaman. But I do think it's reasonable to consider this a mana dork. Even though it's only exiling from your graveyard, it's exiling any card. Even though, sorry, not even. Why would I say even though again? Even though it's only exiling from your graveyard, it's exiling any card, and it's adding any color of mana. And then just being able to mill as an activated ability is not that bad. Doesn't ramp until turn 3. Well, it doesn't ramp until turn 3 unless you have additional cards to go with it, right? Like, this is the kind of card that with fetch lands or with cheap spells is pretty good, right? Just being able to, like, play, like, this is the kind of card that can give you 3 mana on turn 2. But that it will likely give you 3 mana divvied up, or will give you 3 mana if you have a fetch land involved. And then just being able to mill your cards into your graveyard is pretty relevant for a number of strategies that are going to want to play additional mana dorks. So yeah, I like this card. I foresee myself trying out this card in a variety of Canlander and Gladiator decks in green. It is not as reliable for a 1-3 jump. It gets more reliable as the game goes on, but it also has added utility and added flexibility, right? Of the utility for the mill, flexibility, 1 mana of any color. Also, it's an insect. So when I mill this with my grist, I'm going to get to do it again. That's kind of dope. Yeah, it doesn't target as well. So, you know, you're going to get that mana. Ideally. Ooze Patrol? Nope. This card is wild. Rise from the Wreck. 2 and a green sorcery. Return up to 1 target creature, 1 target mount, 1 target vehicle, and 1 target creature with no abilities from your graveyard to your hand. I don't think this card is going to see play in Canadian Highlander Gladiator. But that's fucked. This can be a 4-for-1. Right? There are vanilla creatures in this set. They're here because Morrigonda is a large part of where this race is taking place, I guess. Also, only now did I realize how dialed out my camera is. What happened? Oh, because my fucking camera reset. That's why. Who's ready for me to be like, there, that's better, and then I make my camera worse? I'm not even looking at what it's doing. Maybe that's fine. Nope, I fucked that up. Can you zoom in a bit? I wonder what the can you zoom in a bit guy is doing. I mean, it'd also probably help if I open my blinds and let the light in. All right. Talked about that card. Talked about that card. We've talked about a lot of... Oh my god, it's another card for the Costco guys? Boom Scholar. Talked about the Skier Hulk. Talked about the Shark. Talked about the Car Door. Cycle. Dune Drifter. This one's kind of neat. X, white and a black for a 3/3 vehicle. When this vehicle enters, return target artifact or creature with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Has crew cost 2. This card's kind of interesting for like a Greasefang, right? It's a vehicle that gets back Greasefang. It doesn't get back Greasefang on ETB, but you know, that's a deck that looks for vehicles, and this can do a vehicle thing. It's very expensive to get back something relevant, but I don't know. 3 mana, make this vehicle get back a 1 mana value creature. I could see this card. Oh, it returns an artifact. Wait, what? This gets back Black Lotus? I didn't even realize it gets back any artifact. Gets back Black Lotus? Ooh, interesting. I'm going to think about this magic card. Because getting back a Black Lotus is pretty huge. Getting back, obviously, LED. But also putting in 1 extra mana and getting back like a Candelabra is kind of nice. Huh. Yeah, let me think about this card. I haven't played enough Eggs recently. Eggs, to me, is mostly dead. So I've kind of put it on the back burner until I try... I would like to take another crack at it. But now's not the time. Did I talk about this card? I don't know. Embalmed Ascendant. 1 white and a black for a 1/2 zombie. Will start your engines, and when this creature enters, you make a 2/2. And max speed. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1, gain 1. So this ends up turning into a Blood Artist, on your side only. I guess Zulaport Cutthroat is more accurate. 3 mana to make 3/4 in stats across 2 bodies. I could see this card showing up. It's a little awkward. A Gladiator play only, and maybe only if I'm in black-white. But I could see this card showing up. It's just hard. Like, I built Mardu Kratz recently in both Gladiator and Canlander, and I'm like, well, we're done. We're full. We have all the cards. Like, I don't. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I think Gladiator only for me. Explained it to my time. Why is Eggs dead? Orcish Bowmasters, Hull Breacher, Opposition Agent, Shieldred, Ragavan, Psychic Frog, Ajani, Nethergoyf. The pressure is too much for the blue decks. The eggs used to prey on blue decks, and blue decks have too much pressure. Eggs used to be able to build up defensive measures against the creature decks. The creature decks have way too many free, like, gotcha cards, like Collector Roof or Opposition Agent or Orcish Bowmasters. Yeah, shit's tough. And Eggs has not gotten, like, every other deck has gotten newer cards. There's just no reason to be on the Eggshell. There are better Tolarian Academy decks. There are better Black Lotus decks. Yeah. Anywho. This card has like a bajillion pieces of art. Surely it's a reasonable Magic card. Explosive Getaway. 3 red and a white for a sorcery. Exile up to 1 target artifact or creature. Return to the battlefield under its controller's control at the beginning of the next end step. Explosive Getaway deals 4 damage to each creature. That's kind of interesting. You get to save one of your cards and then deal 4 to everything. 5 mana, though? That's a lot of fucking mana. I think that's too much mana. This is disgusting. This is creeping me out. Talked about all these cards. Talked about the weird little freak. 7 days a week. Talked about that. Talked about that. Okay, here's the blue-white Gear Hulk. Riptide Gear Hulk. 1 white, blue for a 2/5 artifact creature construct with double strike and prowess. And when this creature enters, for each opponent, put up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls onto its owner's library, 3rd from the top. I actually like this card. People are talking about this one. I don't think it's going to be... I mean, I'm a little hesitant to play this in Canlander. I might give this a shot in Jeskai Welder. Like, double strike prowess, it doesn't take much for this card to kill an opponent. And if the coast is clear and you're a deck with, like, Moxen and Chromatic Star and Baubles and everything, like, you can just very easily kill your opponent. This is a great card to Welder into play. It's a reasonable, like, if you're like a mid-range Tinker deck, it is a reasonable thing to Tinker into because it just mucks a non-land permanent. 3rd from the top is great, like a Teferi Tuck. Yeah, I'm pretty reasonable on this. Pretty reasonably high on this card. 5 toughness is where you want to be. 5 mana is a lot easier to hit when you are a deck that will probably have Moxen or treasure tokens or whatever. Yeah. I'm into this card mostly because it does something unique, can kill people easily, and like the kind of deck I want to play this in is already going to have the ability to like get this card out sooner rather than later and have it take over the game. Even like a Blink deck, right? Like Bant Blink or whatever, you can just fuck over people pretty quickly. I think there are probably better 5s to play, but you know, it's not an embarrassing card to play in even a deck like that. Yeah, double strike prowess on an Azorius card does feel a little weird, but I guess like the white is double strike, the blue is prowess, and then the white blue is that it tucks a thing, right? Like, The green is vigilance. The red is menace. Overrun is very much a green and red thing. Like giving your team a big boost and damage can't be prevented feels very red. Lifelink for black. Ward for blue. Blue-black pulls cards from your opponent's hand. This is the thing that Vendilion Clique are the curtains. And then like the blue or the green-white one. First strike in white, trample in green. Both of these cards have tutors for cheap things. Both of them can also find... well, not both of them. Both of them have tutors for cheap things. Finding artifacts and enchantments are more in whites. But, you know, the green can also tutor up permanents at times. They all play. They all play pretty well, I'd say. Still want the black-red one to be previewed so I can talk about them as a whole. We've talked about all these cards. This card is not good enough. It's kind of funny. Ooh. Veteran Beast Rider. 1 green and a white for a 3/4 human knight. At the beginning of your end step, untap each creature you control. 2 green and a white. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. This is a pretty reasonable 3-drop. It's not very often that I look at a card like this that is very, I mean, non-derogatory basic. And I think like, yeah, this could actually, I think this card could compete in the right deck, right? If you're like a green-white mid-range or aggressive deck, or you are like green-white humans, if you just have a bunch of mana dorks, like this is a pretty powerful mana sink, as well as really annoying, right? It's not each other creature, it's each creature. So it has pseudo vigilance, at least in terms of being able to attack and block. Really good with utility creatures too, like your Giver of Runes or your Mom protecting things, and then they get to untap, and other utility cards that often show up in green and white. Yeah, I like this card. I like it a lot. Survives Bolt. Pretty good. Voyage Home. This card's dope. 5 white and a blue for a sorcery. Affinity for artifacts. You draw 3 cards and you gain 3 life. I will play this in blue. I basically will play this in artifact decks that play Thoughtcast, that also have that also have white in them. Yeah, there's not much to say. I don't know. If my deck's playing Thoughtcast, I'm going to want to play this. If my deck's not playing Thoughtcast, then it's weird for me to want to go for this. The life gain is great. The draw 3 is great. 2 mana, draw 3, gain 3 is huge. 3 mana, draw 3, gain 3 is also totally reasonable. Yeah, straightforward card. It's the, yeah, you know how there's the joke of like, well, they put Healing Salve on Lightning Bolt. When are they going to put like Lightning Bolt in Ancestral Recall? Or when are they going to put Healing Salve on Ancestral Recall? It's like, well, here it is. They did it. Does it have huge lips? I'm not gonna make this joke. I'm not gonna make this joke. We're moving on. The fucking stand stop lots. This artwork is so wild. Fuck, he's getting the goon squad on every time I see it. It's just, damn, dude. What you got under that engine? You don't want this guy to pop the trunk, if you know what I mean. Oh, they're all bad. Oh no, they're all bad. They're all bad. Good news, they're all bad. Any cool lands? We've seen that card. We've seen that card. We've seen the cycle. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else in this set. Don't think there's any other utility lands, which means we're on to special guests. No. Special guest cards. So these cards they already exist. No, I'm going to talk about the cards that were previewed previewed during the stream after I do everything else. Lord of the Dead, or Lord of the Undead, excuse me, is a special guest here. I'm mostly talking about these cards through the context of Gladiator or through, well, just the choices of them existing. Lord of the Undead rules for zombies. 1 black, 2/2 zombie. Other zombies get +1/+1. Pay 1 into black, tap, return a zombie from your graveyard to your hand. Great card. If you're playing zombies, play this card. That's it. Chandra's Ignition. I think we already have this, right? I will admit, I mean, this card is new to Arena. But, like, it's not playable. You're fresh, so you have no idea. High Pitch Wheeler? You said this last time, right? Was it you that said it the last stream? Yeah, I'll talk about the Mimeoplasm in a second. I do like this art. But well, that's interesting. So in the comics, Chandra can't actually shoot flames. Like she has like a flame shooter. And so it's like it built into her suit to shoot the flames. But I guess for Aetherdrift, they wanted to like make it feel more natural. We already talked about Chromox. This card's going to get banned. Oh, not that. Let me talk about the commander cards. I'm only talking about the new commander cards. And now, because we're talking about commander cards, I'm only talking about them in Canlander. On Wings of Gold, really like this artwork. 3 and a white for an enchantment. Creatures you control that are zombies and are tokens get +1/+1, have flying. Whenever more cards leave your graveyard, create a 1/1 zombie creature token. Ooh, pretty good with Amaria. Chromox is getting banned or Mox Opal. I cannot foresee a world where Chromox lasts in Gladiator. Too expensive for Canlander. Cool art though. We'll play this in Commander. Priest of the Crossing. 3 and a white for a 3/3 zombie bird cleric with flying. At the beginning of each end step, put an X/1/1 counters on each creature you control, where X is the number of creatures that died under your control this turn. Commander card. Too expensive, too niche. Where are we going to play it? I could just find the North 100 thing and see which ones I wanted to play. Renewed Solidarity. 2 and a white for an enchantment. As this enchantment enters, choose a creature type. Chosen creature type gets +1/+0. At the beginning of your end step, for each token you control of the chosen type that entered this turn, create a token that's a copy of it. Oh, I like that card a lot. For Commander. For me to poop on. Ooh, good swords artwork. Exile target creature control gains life equal to its power. Great swords artwork. Yeah, bad cat. I think this card is on my list. Wizened Mentor. 1 and a white for a 2/2 zombie cleric. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of a permanent that isn't a mana ability, you create a 1/1 white zombie creature token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Yeah, this being gated to once each turn is very weird to me. I guess it is 2 mana. Yeah, it's obviously better in Commander. Yeah, I guess if I'm in white-black zombies, then I would play this card for Canlander. 2 mana 2/2 that just makes a token when they fetch or whatever is fine. Yeah, give me 31/1s if my opponent gets to Nadu combo me. I don't know. This feels like a bad charismatic Conqueror, and I already think Charismatic Conqueror is not great. I was at combo with Deb Thomas. Well, Deb Thomas concerns herself more with dogs and employees. And this is not a dog, nor is it an employee. Which is unfortunate because it's not an employee, Deb Thomas can't fire the wizened mentor. Well, she'll find a way. Love this commence the endgame artwork. This is some good shit right here. This is dope. We need more of this. What is up with Deb? It was a question on the crossword stream, and I had no idea this card existed. And then I thought it was very funny because I'm pretty sure this wasn't she in charge when all those layoffs went into effect? No, I haven't read the swords. I do not wish for a return to the old gods, nor to recapture the glory of the past. I only wish to see my people thrive. That is enough. That's good flavor text. Nah, fuck all that new shit. I just want people to have food and live their lives. Oh, this card costs a bajillion mana. Like, look at this magic card. She's the former CFO of Hasbro. I gotta stop Deb Thomas posting. Every time I start Deb Thomas posting, why is she in Rowan cosplay? I don't know. Maybe Rowan's her favorite planeswalker. That's for Deb to know and you to find out. This card's kind of interesting. Ret Tomb Mystic. 1 in a blue for a 2/1 zombie bird wizard with flying, and each creature card in your hand has cycling for 1 in a blue. Giving any creature in your hand the ability to discard itself is pretty strong. I don't think this is good enough for Reanimator. This is unfortunately, yeah, it's very cool with dredge cards, but like you need so much more. Like, this is mana intensive, right? I don't think I'd even play this in the Grixis discard deck. Like, I think that this is the kind of card you shouldn't trap yourself into playing in the Grixis discard deck. You know what's a better creature for putting cards in the graveyard at this mana cost? Ledger Shredder. Just play Ledger Shredder. Or if you really want to play Jace Vryn's Prodigy, or play Malcolm, or play Psychic Frog. Yeah, there's so many other cards that could do this. It is kind of cool to be like, oh, I could play this and like cycle my Archon of Cruelty and get it back, but that's so much mana. Too much mana. On to black. Cool Corpse Augur art. Cool Crypt Breaker art. Oh yeah, Gem Palm Polluter. This card I think is actually reasonable for zombie decks. Lost Monarch of Ifnir. 3 and a black for a 4/4 zombie noble with Afflict 3. For those that don't remember what Afflict is, it's when this creature comes blocked, the defending player loses N life. Other zombies you control have Afflict 3. And the beginning of your second main phase, if a player was dealt combat damage by a zombie this turn, mill 3 cards, then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Kind of an annoying top end lord for zombies, where you just get to push a bunch of damage and potentially draw some cards and mill some cards. The fact that it isn't a legend is kind of nice. The fact that it doesn't die to lightning bolt is kind of nice. Zombies has a couple of top end lords, and really likes the points changes where they can just play, like, realistically, zombies is kind of a weirdo medium black deck where, like, you really want to be like, you could be like Triple Mox Ancient Tomb, or you could be like Mana Crypt Soul Ring Ancient Tomb, and then, like, I don't know, Urza Saga. You could be 2-color zombies and be on Ring Mox Ancient Tomb. If you have multiple does Afflict stack? Yes. Multiple instances of Afflict. Yeah, I like this card. Again, niche where it shows up, but it checks off some boxes. Lets you, it's kind of just an upgrade. Frame Shifty, back for the 9th month. Hello, Misters Wheeler and Rathu. Hey, how you doing? Thank you so much for the support. Glad to have you, and may say good to see you. This Murderous Rider art, the zombie art in this set goes so hard. This Midnight Reaper, this Murderous Rider, riding a fucking Hercules beetle. Would you consider Vamp for value plus Miracle Dudes? Yeah, you could play like Mox, Vamp, Ancient Tomb Saga, or Ancient Tomb Reanimate. Yeah, you can get a Reanimate in there. You got options. I haven't actually looked at zombies in a while. Maybe I'll take a look at it after the set gets fully spoiled. Yeah, the Grave Titan's pretty dope. Although I gotta tell you, I think the OG Grave Titan is just kind of perfect. Like, there's a reason why it got used over and over and over again. Oh, Grave Titan has not seen that many printings. I mean, I guess it has. But, like, it's kind of surprising to me that Grave Titan was printed in Commander 2014 and then not printed outside of like a secret layer or the list or whatever. Those don't count until MKM Commander. That's a big gap. This is cool, but I mean, Grave Titan is just so fucking dope, right? Oh, this Zombie Master is wild. That is... Whew. Whew. Sheesh. That is some dope Zombie Master art. All the hands just passing them over the water. Ooh, the sunlight in the background. Damn, that's nice. Now, of course, I do have a beta Zombie Master. As the premier zombie pilot, I feel like these zombies are the apology for like, look, we know, we said we're going back to Amonkhet. We kind of did, but we get it. You're mad. So here's some zombies. Here's some really fucking cool zombies. Please play them. Please, I'm begging you. Into red. So the decks are Esper Zombies and Rug Energy, I think. What does this card do? I know there's one energy card I kind of liked. I gotta tell you, the energy cards are hard to evaluate because I've seen people play energy in Canadian Highlander and they play some bad cards. Which, like, you're bound to do for any of these synergy decks. But looking at these bad cards, it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, this is this is where it should be, right? Like this is what you should be on for energy. I don't know. I feel that feels like an archetype that is like pretty open to how you can build, however you could build it. I don't think a 6-drop is where you want to be. Zombies, Esper, and Canlander. You can build Dimir Zombies. That's the last one that I had built was Dimir Zombies. What does this thing do? 6 mana, 6/5, flying haste, ETB, get 2 energy. Then you can pay 1 or more. When you do, this creature deals that much damage to each other creature. Oh, so this can like hit the table in Wrath? That's kind of interesting. That's new, right? That's new? That's a thing you couldn't do before? That's kind of interesting. It is 6 mana, though. It is 6 mana. This druid existed before, right? Oh, yeah, I forgot about Nissa. They did Nissa dirty. They did Nissa dirty here. Nissa World Soul Speaker. They did her dirty by shoving her into a commander product. Remember when she was like the face of green? Who was the great? Oh, Vivian Reed. That's who they brought back. I mean, I like Vivian more than I like Nissa, admittedly. But It's, yeah. Art is amazing though. I think if it had the exact same art with any other artist's name, I think people would talk about how this art is not great. I get it. Magali's name's on the card. You supported the Kickstarter. I get it. But this is a little awkward. 3 and a green for a 3/3 legendary elf druid. Whenever a land you control enters, get 2 energy. And you may pay 8 energy rather than pay the mana cost of permanents spells you cast. Yeah, this card's not it. Not it. Very weird for her to be, push Royal Cartographer as Nissa. Yeah, they did her so fucking dirty. This one I think is this is the one that I think could actually see play though. Pima Trailblazer, 2 and a green for a 3/3 Elephant Warrior with Trample. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you get that many energy. And then pay 6 energy. This is the exhaust ability. Pay 6 energy, put 2 1/1 counters on this creature, then draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. If you are a dedicated energy deck, getting up to 6 energy is not that difficult. So I could even see this card hitting the table and just immediately exhausting it. And you could do this at instant speed with mana open for protection too. Like if any card's getting added to the energy deck, it's this card. This card's dope. Yeah. Big fan of this donkey. I mean, it's not a donkey, but it's well, it's not a donkey. It's a rock. Donkey Quote? Is that anything? What's the Aetherdrift set code? Does anybody know? Is it ADR? DFT Dynamite? Oh yeah, right. I made this joke before. Fuck you, it can't be empty. I'm making it empty. Right. Sorry. This was the one that I forgot to add to the North 100 set review. Oh yeah, this is another magic card. Rampaging Aetherhood. 4 and a green for 4/4 Snake Hydra with Trample and Ward 2. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get an amount of energy equal to this creature's power. Then you may pay 1 or more energy if you do put that many counters on this. Actually, you know what? This could be the top end for an energy deck. If you are playing an energy deck, like a 4-color, 5-color energy deck, and your top end is like Liberty Prime and this magic card, I could see it. I can get behind that. And I guess like Satya, like, yeah, I love this classic Ron Spencer art, by the way. But like, I don't know, 5 mana for this big old donkey, Trample, Ward 2, real annoying. Come around to your upkeep, and you get a minimum of 4 energy, and then immediately you get an 8/8, and that's assuming you only have 4 energy. Like I could easily see this card attacking for like 12 right away. Yeah, it's Pierogi's Hydra, but with energy and Ward 2. That's pretty funny. And I love Pierogi's Hydra. I don't know if I'd play this in Gruul Monsters, but I would play this in medium green or bigger green. It has only 1 green pip. Canadian Hydra does come into play with counters, which if you are playing it in a deck that has other thing that cares about counters, you immediately get it. Yeah, you're not playing this in Monsters. Monsters doesn't need to go up to 5 to kill people. It just kills people at 4. But yeah, pretty reasonable card. I was shocked to see this card in here. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. We're doing it live. I'm updating this rampaging Aetherhood. You're seeing me put together the spreadsheet in real time. My eyes mostly glazed over a lot of these. What the fuck? It's a 2/2. This Corpse Knight art. Damn, they killed it with the artwork on the zombies. All right, if the office gets an extra copy of this zombies deck, I think I just want it to play. I don't know how many people know this, but zombies was like my first deck. Even before elves, I played zombies. I mean, I've talked about it before. My first theme deck that I ever bought was Zombies Unleashed from Legions. I roll with zombies. And this is some dope artwork. That's great. Hashaton, Scarab's Fist. White and a black for a 1/3 legendary zombie wizard. Whenever you discard a creature card, you may pay 2 and a blue. If you do, create a tap token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 zombie. 4/4 black zombie. I am very excited to play with this card. I think this card might actually just be good. I've been talking about an Esper 3 animator deck in Canadian Highlander for a while. I think that deck is quite good. It's funny that deck got hit by the points changes, but also is just totally fine playing with them. Like, that deck can just still be like, yeah, I'm on Mox, Psychic Frog, White Plume, Reanimate, and then like Ancient Tomb or, you know, whatever. And it's just still fine. Yeah, I like this card. I like this card a lot. I think discarding creatures is pretty easy to do. Ledger Shreddering, you know, Kiora, Psychic Frog, a Spicy Frantic Search, discarding the hand size off Library of Alexandria. Yeah, I like this card. At JVP, whatever. Like, it is very funny that you can do some shit with Lion's Eye Diamond in this card. That's pretty neat. The fact that you discard the card also doesn't, like, making a token that's a copy of it doesn't do anything to the card that you discarded, right? Like, it's not exile that card and make a 4/4 token. That creature card is still in your graveyard now. You just happen to have a uncounterable 4/4 version of it in play. That's dope. Yeah, I'm going to be trying out this card in a couple of slots. I think it's pretty cool. Somebody asked, do I think Shivam is excited for the zombies deck? I mean, he might even be in chat. You could probably ask him. But like, I don't know. My read is going to be, he likes the cool art for the zombies, but doesn't like the fact that so many of these zombies can't go into Grimgrin. Because a lot of there are zombies that are blue or black, but, you know, there are some zombies the cool zombies that have white, or that, like this card, you know, you'd want to play it, but you can't. That sort of thing. PNLR, Chief Mechanic. Green, blue, and a red for a 2/4 legendary human artificer. Whenever one or more artifact creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you get 2 energy. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1 or more energy, and if you do, create an XX colorless vehicle to... I'm good. I'm good. I just kept reading. I'm like, I don't fucking care, man. I mean, I like PNLR. It's just, yeah. I like PNLR. I don't know. It was like the Nalar Aether Jet, and I had to say the word energy so many times. I'll say it more for here. Sahili Radiant Creator. 1 green, blue, and a red for a 4/4 legendary human artificer. Whenever you cast an artificer or artifact spell, you get an energy. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, you can pay 3 energy. When you do, create a token that's a copy of target permanent you control, except it's a 5/5 artifact creature in addition to its other types and has haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. This one's kind of interesting. It plays similarly to Satya. I think I like this card. It plays similarly in the sense that you play it and you can immediately do something with it, right? It doesn't immediately give you energy, so it is just a payoff. You need to have 3 energy lying around. But like playing this, making a copy of one of your other energy creators, right? And it being a 5/5, that's wild. That is a lot of pressure to put out. Yeah. Big fan of this card. In exactly one deck, and a deck that I haven't played, but I'm eager to try. I'm eager to try, or I guess more accurately, I'm eager to see these decks receive new cards, right? Who knows how often we will get them, but new cards pretty good. Temet, Noctamoon's Will. Damn, he grew up. 2 white, blue, and a black for a 4/4 legendary zombie wizard with vigilance and menace. Well, maybe he didn't grow up because he died, right? He died? He's supposed to be Tutankhamun, right? That's his whole thing. Before he wasn't a zombie. But he did have embalm. So maybe he died young and now he's ages. I don't know how zombies work on Amonkhet. 5 mana 4/4 Vigilance Menace. Whenever you attack, loot, and whenever you draw a card, zombies you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. I think this is maybe too expensive. It's 5 mana. 5 mana is 1,000,000 mana. Wow, Douglas Schuler art on a fucking new card. Wow. Yeah, I think this is just too much mana, but this card does kill people very quickly. I like that it buffs itself. That's it. Thanks for listening. I mean, I'm not reading all that. I guess attacks, search your library. Put them into your hand. It is like a cranial plating style card. Adaptive Omni Tool. 2 mana artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Whatever equipped creature attacks you, look at the top 6 cards. Your library, you can reveal an artifact card from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest on the bottom of the library in a random order. I mean, this is a very powerful effect. This is a lot of mana, but you are an artifact deck. Maybe you have some extra stuff lying around. I don't know. I look at this and I'm like, okay, that's, I could see it. I get the vision. I understand the vision. But I don't know this, like, especially because an artifact deck will have extra mana floating around for the equip cost. But it's even then, it's still hard to justify like multiple equips if you need to. Drawing a card on attack is kind of nice. Buffing toughness is kind of nice. I bet this will see play. I'd play this card. I'd be interested in trying this card. This is a big energy. Pay 50 energy. No, I'm good. Etheric Amplifier. I mean, I guess I should read the other commander cards. 6 mana artifact. Whenever you cast a spell, you get an amount of energy equal to the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. Tap, pay 50 energy, draw 7 cards. You can cast any number of spells from your hand without paying the mana cost. If you've ever played against an energy deck in Commander, they're kind of messed up. Like, they get so much energy and there's not really a way to stop them. Very cool resource. Thank you so much. It's, that's a shit, like, this card's not Canlander playable, but that's a shitload of energy. Like, getting up to 50 energy and tapping it and probably winning the game is kind of wild. Cool. And it must feel, I don't mean this. When I'm saying this, I'm making fun, I'm having fun, I'm joking and whatnot. I'm not trying to be too rude or too cruel. If this is what you like to do, if this is what you want to do in Commander or Magic the Gathering, power to you. It must feel so good to just be like an energy gamer for Commander. Like, you just don't have to think. The card says energy, you put it in your energy deck. You just like, you get to turn your fucking brain off and be like, yeah, it says energy. I'm playing it in my energy deck. And like, you can min-max it, and some of these cards probably shouldn't be in your deck. But I bet if you built a command, like, how many cards reference energy? Energy. Turning saints into the sea. Turning our sick lullabies. Choking. Can I not add an energy? Oh, I do. There's 141 cards that mention energy. I bet it's pretty easy to just trim that number down. Like, you can just, if I like building this deck here, this is how you build this deck. You go here and go, well, this card's a rare. This card's a rare, but I don't want to play a 3-1. Well, this card's good. Oh, this card's a rare. I should play that one. Oh, this says energy. It's a rare. I'll play that one. I'll play that one. I'll play this one. Yeah, sure. I'll play a whale. Why not? Oh, another whale. Yeah, I'll play this whale, I guess. Makes a lot of energy. Hey, this big lizard makes energy. I'll play that. Oh, Aetherworks Marvel. That makes energy. I'll play that. Hey, this card got banned. I'll play that. This is rare, so we're playing it. I feel like it's the kind of deck building that does not appeal to me, but damn, does it make it quick. What the fuck is this thing? Etheric Amplifier, 3 mana artifact, tap out 1 mana of any color, pay 4 tap, choose 1, activate only as a sorcery, double the counters on target permanent, double the number of each kind of counter you have. I see. I'm going to double my energy. You know, that's the big thing with when I've played against energy decks. The thing that they've really struggled with is just having too much energy. You know, it's just energy deck, or sorry, not having enough energy. Every time I played against an energy deck, they hit like 40 energy by like turn 5. And I'm like, damn, so all you did was just play stuff that gave you energy? That's it? And they're like, well, I also have this like 3/3 flyer that grows bigger, and I've been drawing extra cards a turn. And I also played a mana rock, and you're just like, what? You got to do things and do this? Sure, why not? I like that arcane signet. I like that arcane signet. Duplicant. Whoa. Cool duplicant art. Love me a duplicant. Trippy lightning greaves. Oh yeah. Stride Hanger Automaton. I like this card. 3 mana. Colorless artifact creature. It's a 1/4 construct. Thopters you control get +1/+1. And if one or more artifact tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus an additional 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying are created instead. I'd be interested in playing this card in Canlander. I've been trying to make a artifact tokens list that plays, you know, your Psy Master Thopterus, your Saheeli. You have like an equipment package. You get a Skull Clamp going. You know, all that stuff. Thopter Sword. You have some combo potential. You're like a Triple Mox Academy list, that kind of thing. You know, you're like a good food deck. This card's perfect for it. Like, there's already a bunch of Thopter generation. There's a bunch of token generation. That's like the whole thing. It survives Lightning Bolt. You can cast it off Ancient Tomb or Workshop really easily. Yeah, I'm into this card. I like this card quite a bit. Quite a bit. Yeah, combos with Warren Soul Trader. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Do we have a legendary whale? Because somebody mentioned, Ice Hat mentioned whale typo, and I would, what the fuck did I press? I would love a legendary whale. We have like Slyn Voga. No, Eluge isn't a whale. Did you know that card's really good in mono blue? Did you know that? Did you know that card's really good? I'd probably play that card in mono blue. Anyways. Oh, wow. Oh, that's a dope Academy Runes art. Cursed Junior. Oh, yeah, this fucking card. It's a land that taps for a colorless and then has pay 2 generic tap, regenerate target shade, skeleton, specter, spirit, vampire, wraith, or zombie. Oh, I have like 12 Slack notifications. That's always good. Yeah, why isn't this a desert? Feels very weird that this isn't a desert. Worse Swarm Yard, different Swarm Yard. I mean, if I'm playing a zombies deck, I'll play this card. If I'm playing a skeleton deck, sure. A vampire deck, like this hits some relevant things. Swarm Yard only hits, I don't even want to call squirrels relevant. Or rats or whatever. I mean, I guess they're both commander cards, but like I am like zombies and vampires are and spirits are fucked. Hate Slack, not gonna lie. I mean it, I don't mind it. It's all work. You know, it's whatever. I hate Discord more than I hate Slack. Maybe that's because I have a job. Is that it? That's it for this, but there's some new cards. Who wants to talk about new cards? Howdy, y'all. Who wants to talk about new cards? Well, I'm going to go to bed, Nick. Well, Nick, I'm going to go to bed. We talked about all these. No, we haven't talked about some of these vanilla cards. Now these are new cards. -2 for bit stealing. From the Hawk Tua girl? I can't do a good Butters impression, so that's on me. Oh, can I just do this? I can, but it's so tiny. All right. I mean, there's not much to talk about. These were the Loading Ready Run previews. 3 vanilla creatures that are legends. Calyx Scion Hunger Tyrant, 1 black for a 7/2 legendary crocodile. Tyrox Saurid Tyrant, 1 and a red for a 4/1 legendary dinosaur warrior. And Terrian World Tyrant, 2 green for a 9/7 legendary dinosaur ooze. I like these cards. They're cool. They're big legendary vanilla creatures. People like that. They're fun. They're good at crewing vehicles and mounts. They fit into the Muragonda theme. I'm into it. Fang Druid Summoner is also a new one. 3 and a green for a 2/4 ape druid with reach. When this enters, you can search your library or graveyard for a creature card with no abilities. Reveal it, put it in your hand, search your library afterward. Dope. Yeah. Can't wait to see the white one. The white one, oh yeah, they printed the blue one too, the octopus. I like the octopus. 2 mana for a 0/8 octopus. Very funny. The white one's dope. But I can't tell you. Yeah, I guess this is okay. Maybe. I don't know. Adrenaline Junkie. This is just that Scytheclaw card, right? But worse? Yeah, this is worse. Never mind. I was going to say this is 2 and a red for a 3/3 Minotaur Pilot. Whenever a player casts a spell, if it isn't their turn, deals 4 damage to that player. Whenever you activate an exhaust ability, you put a 1/1 counter on it. We got a Raptor from LCI that's similar to this. It's like 2 and a red for a 4/3. When they cast a spell, it's not their turn, deals 4 to them. That card's just better. Steerhill Beetle. Oh, this card stinks. Not just because it's like a, I don't know, it's a dung beetle. Mimeoplasm, Revered One. I don't know why I keep doing that. X, black, green, and blue for a 0/0 legendary ooze. As Mimeoplasm enters, exile up to X creature cards from your graveyard. It enters with 3 +1/+1 counters on it for each creature card exiled this way. Pay 2 generic. Mimeoplasm becomes a copy of target creature exiled with it, except it's a 0/0 and has this ability. Yeah, Ron Spencer. Hell yeah. cool commander card. Like, you need to put 4 mana into this card doing anything. When you do, you get a 6/6 that can become a copy of it, which is kind of interesting. I don't know. We have so many cards that can do similar-ish things. I'm not super keen on this. 12/12? What? I pay 1 mana to exile 1 card? Because it only exiles X cards, X being whatever you put into this. So if I pay 4 mana, which is the lowest amount for me to do this, it doesn't target, right? As it enters, exile up to X cards from your graveyard? Or you mean this targets? Oh, come on. Target creature card exiled with it. What the fuck? What the fuck? Weird. I don't know. Cool commander card, I guess. Speaking of cool commander cards. I don't know why I keep opening this. Gaunty Knight Minister. 2 black for a 3/4 legendary creature, Aetherborn Rogue. Whenever a player casts a spell they don't own, that player creates a treasure token. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller looks at the top card of that opponent's library, exiles it face down. They may play that card as long as it's exiled. Mana, you can do the mana. Mana to do the mana. Cool commander card. I keep doing this. Can I just do this? Burnout Bastronaut. 1 red for a 1/1 Goblin Warrior with Menace and start your engines. Pay 2 generic. This creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. And at max speed, this card is double strike. I don't hate this card for Gladiator goblins. Maybe even normal goblins. It's nice little mana sink. It gets the speed going quickly. Menace is annoying, especially as it gets bigger and bigger. Double strike is fine. I have a feeling like this is more of a goblins card for Gladiator than for Canlander. There's just better goblins to play, more utility goblins to play. Rather be doing something than playing this. I would, but like it kind of has that. What's the banneret? Is it Goblin Banneret? Kind of has that going on. Yeah, kind of like Goblin Banneret. In that it's just a goblin with a mana sink. I don't know. Probably better in... I don't even know if I'd play this in Standard. Yeah, I'm good. Finally, this fucking card got previewed. Oh, I did the thing again. Regal Imperiosaur. 1 green for a 5/4. Other dinosaurs you control get +1/+1. Very funny to me. Just very funny to me. I haven't played mono green. I played mono green sometime last year. I mean, I know Wormy played dinosaurs in Gladiator at some point in time. Kind of curious. How many dinos were in mono green Stompy? Like, probably not Death George. Could play Thrashy Bee, Tranquil Frillback. Shifting Ceratops. I don't know. I've played Steel. I have played Steel Leaf Champion where that ability does not matter. And it can buff other dinosaurs where this ability might not matter. 3 mana 5/4. Sure, why not? Maybe dinosaurs is getting... Dinosaurs is a color combination, or is a creature type that I do want to pay some attention to in Canadian Highlander. Because we're not there yet. But they know how much money dinosaurs makes. Right? Like, them printing dinosaur cards makes money. Commander players buy dinosaurs. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up trying to push more dinosaur cards to be constructed playable. Because if you can get the people that are spending money on dinosaurs that play Commander to maybe spend that money on like a modern deck or a standard deck, like that's where you're printing the cash. I mean, Commander's where you're printing the cash, but I bet you can convert those Commander players into other players. Radiant Lotus. 6-mana artifact. Tap. Sack one or more artifacts. Choose a color. Target player adds 3 mana of the chosen color for each artifact sacked this way. Pretty cool Commander card. I saw people in chat were asking about this card, asking if it would get banned. I saw people talking about this on Twitter, asking if this would get them banned or whatever. Ooh, I've got a... I don't know. This card's fine. Yeah, Card Clan Ironworks exists. Like, it is funny that you can give people, yes, that's she mentioning with Yearlock. You can give people a shitload of mana, just mana burn them out with this card. Turn this into the cannon. I don't know. This is kind of cool. Card Clan Ironworks costs 2 less and is just stronger for the formats that I care about. I don't think that this is I mean, I could maybe see a world where this shows up in some goofy Gladiator deck. Like, you could sacrifice itself for Scrap Trawler. Yeah, you could maybe do some stuff with this in Scrap Trawler and like Workshop Assistant or whatever. I don't know. I'm not as convinced. I need to be a bigger dummy to appreciate this card more. Complimentary. Complimentary. Not that card. It's got Ice Fang Coldal mana, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" We already have that. This Cavalier Dawn art is so wild. What, like, bro? What are we doing? what are we doing? I like it. I like when Magic does this kind of art. It's just very funny to me. We have more special guests here. Thoughtcast is already on Arena. Word of Mention's already on Arena. What are we doing? Why is this a fucking special guest, not a secret lair? Why does this have like shitty Rick and Morty art? Like, this has like the artwork from some show on Fox that you've never heard of that like has 2 seasons. And like this fucking sucks. It's stupid as hell that they have a oh my god. Just so, yeah. I would prefer if this was an Aqua Teen character. New Norm Sacred Lair. Blue mana pips and pronouns. Yeah, they must have just had this lying around. They're like, well, look, we paid money for this. We got to put it somewhere. Shark warning. I repeat, shark warning. Galvanic Blast. This is a new card. Coming to Arena. 1 red, instant, 2 damage to any target, Metalcraft, 4 damage to any target. Great. If you are an artifact deck with red mana, then you want to deal damage, you should play this card. It's great. Getting 3 artifacts is not that tough. 4 damage is twice as much as 2. Great. Pathbreaker Ibex. Why does this have like a Fleischer cartoon eye? This has fucking Old Man of the Mountain eyes. This is the Craterhoof Behemoth as a goat. 6 mana, 3/3. Whenever it attacks, creatures you control get trample and +X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. This thing just dies to a stiff breeze. 6 mana for that, not good enough. If you can somehow give this haste that can take over the game, I would just play Craterhoof Behemoth. If you're trying to play cards like this, there are better options. Like you could just play that Gear Hulk. That new Gear Hulk's probably better than this. Or you could just play Craterhoof Behemoth. Yeah. And then there's a Sky Sovereign. Lands you control whenever it attacks. Yeah, this one. Lumbering World Wagon. It tutors up a land on ETB. Power equal number of lands you control. Crew 4. That's so expensive. There's the Octopus. This card's bad. This card's kind of interesting. It's not for our format. I'll talk about the horse. 3 white for a 5/5 Guardian Sunmare. It's a horse mount with Ward 2. And whenever this creature attacks while saddled, search your library for a non-land permanent card with mana value 3 or less. Put it into play, then shuffle. I know that it's just a 5 mana 5/5, no ETB. Ward 2 is nice, but also 5 mana, you know, like they'll pay 4 mana to kill this with their Infernal Grasp or whatever. But still, the Ward 2 can be helpful, right? Because it's not dying to burn or whatever. So maybe this is enough. Certainly helps it against Planeswalkers. Saddle 4 is huge. Saddle 4 is huge. But when this attacks, you basically win the game. Like, when this attacks, you just find a card to lock your opponent out of the game. You find like a Nadu. You get yourself like a Teferi 3. Or you find something to further protect your Sunmare. And then you just do this every single turn. Chang-chang. Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool horse. I think that's it. Great. That's going to be it for me today. We are going to be doing one more stream where I cover the new cards. That is going to be on Thursday to clean up the cards before we get to the PPR, which the PPR is this Friday. Aetherdrift PPR, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're at twitch.tv/loadingreadyrun. With special guest Shivam and New Magic Girl going to be there. We got this is a PPR with guests, with crack-a-packs, with a commander deck tech. Some shmoney behind this one. So tune into that all day Friday. I'm going to call it here. I will be streaming again tomorrow. I am going to be playing Elden Ring. I'm actually starting the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC tomorrow. Going in fresh. Never played it. I know nothing. So that'll be fun. Check into that. The part 1 for the set review, if you missed it, is up on YouTube. As well as the Elden Ring stream we did yesterday is going up tomorrow. And then the Lockdown Protocol and this stream are also going up soon. So, yeah, all that stuff is going to be on the YouTube channel there. Also, there was a new achievement Wheeler Love Magic for Commander 2021. Didn't update this, updated it elsewhere. Big yoinks. You can check out that. There's a free Discord. You can give me money here. Let me drop your kids off somewhere. Greetings. First time here. Feels strange not hearing your voice in 1.5. I mean, I could. Frantically thinks about what to say. Nowadays everybody want to talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just let me drop you kids off somewhere. I don't know. It's 5:30. 5:30. I don't know anybody that is streaming. 4:30. That I'm dropping. Here we go. Who wants to watch? All right, so Misplaced Ginger is playing the Modern Challenge. And if you want to watch somebody who's really good at Magic, you should probably watch this. But also, they're playing Food Guesser right now. What is Food Guesser? I need to do another quiz stream. People join the Discord and give me a bunch of quizzes for a future stream. Okay, watch this. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.